Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going to build this full stack food ordering app using latest Next.js. So this is our homepage with a hero section here. Here we list our best sellers from the database. Here we have a little bit about us section and contact us section. We have also here some navigation, like let's go for example to this menu here. And as you can see here we list all of the menu items that we have in our database. Let me show you. I can for example add this classic chicken pizza. If I click add to cart, it will go straight to our shopping cart. For example, in this one, pepperoni pizza, if I click here, as you can see, it says from $12. And this is because we have defined several sizes here. So you can buy small, medium, large. And then there are also some extras that you can pick if you want. Then I can just click here, add to cart. And now we have two menu items in our shopping cart. Right, so now let me show you the shopping cart. Here, as you can see on the left side, we can see our products, and then we have a subtotal, delivery fee, and total. We can remove those items from our shopping cart if we want, and then on the right we fill our address and phone and so on. And then if we hit this pay button, it will redirect us to Stripe page, and here we can just pay using our credit or debit card. So let me just fill this information here, and if I hit pay, then it's paid, and as you can see I'm redirected to the thank you for your order page, where I can see what I ordered and the information about the address. If we go here to login, let me show you. You can log in with both email and password. You can create also here your account on the register page with an email and password, or you can log in with Google. So I will log in with my Google account here, and if you log in, you can go to your profile by clicking your name here, and in here you can change your image, information, address like this, and this address will be used on the shopping cart page, so you don't need to fill it manually every time you buy something. If you are logged in as an admin, you will also see those extra free tabs here. So for example, you can go to categories, but only if you are an admin. You will see this only if you are an admin, and in here you can edit and add or delete the categories. Then as an admin you have also menu items here, where you can add, edit and delete menu items. Let me for example show you this pepperoni pizza. In here, as you can see, we have a title, description, category, we have base price, and we have even here sizes, so we can add, edit and remove sizes, and we can apply different prices for those sizes. And we have even here extras that we can add, for example extra cheese for $1, extra pepperoni for $2, and so on. If you are an admin, you can also see all of the users, and you can edit address information about them, images, and you can also apply if they are admin or not. So you can invite your friend and make him or her an admin. If you are logged in, you can see all of the orders, and if you are an admin, you can even see orders of other people. You can of course also open each order to see all of the information. For this project we are going to use latest Next.js 14, Tailwind CSS for styling, and Mongo for our database. You will learn a lot about Next.js, Stripe checkout, and cool React libs you can use for your future projects. This tutorial may look like it's very long because it's 12 hours, but that's because I wanted to explain as much as possible to make it easy to follow even for beginners. The whole project is built from scratch, so there is no starter code or anything. I will put the timestamps and the source code in the description, and as always, all I ask for is that you will smash that like button for me to give me some extra motivation for the future projects. And if you have questions or anything, let me know in the comments. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the code. Alright, so as always we start with an empty directory. Here as you can see I have opened food ordering app, an empty directory in my editor. And here on the right side, we have just an empty Chrome tab. And now, as you can see, I have opened terminal here inside this directory, so we can scaffold a new next app, right? So I'm going to use Yarn, but you can use NPM if you want, but Yarn is just a little bit faster. So I will do Yarn create Yarn create next app, and let's just put a dot here so it will be installed in the current directory. And now we have some questions. TypeScript, no, not this time. ESLint, yes. Tailwind CSS, yes. Source, yes. App router, yes. And customize the default import alias, no. And now everything is installing. And now we have everything installed. So we have this public source and some files here. Right, but now let's start by opening this app, right? So in our terminal, let's just do yarn dev, and we have our link here that we can open inside our Chrome browser. Let's see. And we have a Next.js app running here. All right, so now let's build a structure of our app first. So we need a header on the top, then we will have a hero section here, and then we will have a menu and stuff like this. All right, so let's go to our source, and inside app, as you can see, I will hide this terminal for now. We have layout and we have page. Let's start with layout. Here we have a font that is called Inter. Instead of Inter, I would like to use Roboto. So I'm going to rename this and change this. And let's rename this to lowercase Roboto. Right. So now we have an error because we need to change here to Roboto. And now let's see if I refresh, still we have an error. Missing weight for font Roboto. Okay, so we can have different weights here. Let's see, I will add here weight, and let's see, let's do a string, and I want to have several weights. So I want to have 400, 500 and 700. Let's see if this will work. I will put this as an array. Let's put those three here. No, it looks like it needs to be a string. So I'm going to put it like this without an array, and I'm going just to add commas here inside this string. Now let's see. No, this doesn't work. Well, looks like we can do an array, but here we have an error. Font loader values must be explicitly written literals. Let's see what happens if we change to regular strings, if we will still have this problem. No, it moved to this 500. So I'm going just to replace those backticks to regular ticks like this. So let's put it like this, and it works. So now we have our Roboto font, and yes, it was an array that we need to put for weights. Right, so I think that will be it for now for our layout file. We can change the metadata later. Let's go to page, because here we have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to remove all of this HTML here, and I would just put a div with test inside. We don't need this next image for now, so I will remove it. And now let's see, we have test. We have this black background, as you can see, with white text, and this is because inside the globals CSS we have some styling here. I'm going to remove it. So we have only those Tailwind imports, and we have this white page now, and that's better. Now, let me go back to our layout, because inside the layout, I'm going to define a main element, sorry. And this is because I want the website to be centered in the middle. So it will be something like this. Yeah, something like this. So here I will put a main, and the children will go inside. And for this main element, I'll put class name, and let's do max width of, let's try 6XL, and let's do border, and let's see how it looks like. Yeah, so as you can see, this ends here. We just need to make it centered. So let's do to MX Auto, so the margins on the sides will be automatically set. And as you can see now, it starts here and it ends here. Maybe that's too wide. I want to make it a little bit more narrow, so I'll do 4XL. And yeah, now it's much better. All right, so let's go to our page. And now instead of this test and this div, we need to put like several sections for our page. First will be header. So let's replace this with just a React fragment. And here the first thing we gonna need is a header, right? So let's just put a header like this. And well, inside our header we'll have a logo. So let's put an A tag for now. And here will be logo. Let's call our pizza place Sant Pizza, why not? And then we will have a navigation. So let's do nav tag, and we will have like 5 elements here, 5 links. So I'm going just to put regular links for now. Or maybe actually we can just change it to a link. I think link will be better. So let's do link, and the first will be to home. And I'm going to copy this for 5 because we'll have several links inside our navigation. And we will do menu. We will have also about, we will have contact, and we will also have login, something like this. That should be it. Let's change also this to a link as well. So our logo will be a link. And yeah, now let's see. So now we have something like this, and now we need to style this a little bit. So first, let's see if we can add class names to the link component, and I want this to be text red 600. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it works. I want this to be, I will remove this text red run, although maybe I will just leave it. Let's do text wave. No, just wave. Let's see, bold. We can do font bold and semi-bold. Let's do semi-bold. Yes, that's better. For the logo, I want this to be bigger. So let's do text 2XL. Yeah, something like this. I don't like this red color. Let's see if we can do 400. Then it's like this, 500, and then it's this. I want to have my own color. So to do this, I will go to Tailwind config, and let's see, we have some config here. Background image, I don't need this background image. I only need to add the colors, and I'm going to add primary color. And for me, the primary color will be, let's go here, this one, F1 3A01, and it's like red orange-ish color. Right, and now we can go to page, and instead of text red 500, I can do text primary, and now it's the color that I want to use here. All right, so now we have our link here. I'll put this here and this closing tag here below. So this works. Now I want to style those navigation items here. So let me see. For navigation, I will add class names. I will put it as flex. So the those will be next to each other, but I also need to put flex on the header. So the logo will be next to our navigation. Let's do flex. Yes. And let's align this in the middle. So let's do items center. Yes. I'll make it a little bigger so it will be easier to see everything. And yeah, now I want to do space here, as big space as possible. So let's do justify between. So this did this space, automatic space here. Now I want to have some spacing between those. So here inside navigation, let's add gap of 4. Let's see. Yes, this works. Nice. This login sticks to the right side and the logo sticks to the left side. So I'm going to go to our, let's see, inside app, back to our layout. And we have this with max width, but I'm going also to add padding on the sides, or maybe padding on all sides. Let's do 4, and this will give us some padding, as you can see, from the top, from the sides, and from the bottom. I can remove this border. We don't need this gray border anymore. And yeah, that looks nice. So let's go back to our page, and we have this header here. I'm going to change the colors here, so let's do text, and I want to do, let's try gray 500. Yes, I think it works nice. I want to make it semi-bolds for those links. Let's do font semi-bold. Yeah, but let's make this lighter here. 600. No, another way. 400. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's zoom out. Yeah, I think maybe a little bit darker. Let's put it back to 500. Yes, and I think this will work. Now for the login, I want to add extra class names to make it like a red button. So let's do background primary, yes, and text white. I'm going to put this like this. Yes, now let's add some padding of padding on the sides of 4 and padding on the top and the bottom of 2. So now we have something like this, and now it's not aligned anymore, so I need to go here and add items center. Now it's aligned. I want to have more padding on the side, so I'm going to do 6 here, and I also need to add rounded full, so we'll have rounded corners. Yes, this works nice. I want to have even more on the sides padding, yeah, like this. And now let's zoom in. Let's see. Yeah, I want to have even more spacing between all of those. So let's see. Here I will do 8. Yeah, I think that's much better. And now I think we are done with our header. All right, so it would be nice to actually put this somewhere else, because underneath we will have also a hero section and stuff like this. So we don't want to have that much code in one place. So inside source, I'm going to create a new directory called components, and where we can place our header. Let's see. Maybe let's create another directory called layout, and inside I'm going to create a component or a file called just header.js, and here export default function. Let's do just header, and it will just return our header. So let's go back here. Let's grab our header. Let's cut it from here. Let's put it here. And now here inside our page, let's just do header. Yes, and now it's imported for me here. As you can see, if it doesn't add this line automatically for you, you need to add it manually. We don't need those links because now it's imported inside header. All right, and let's go to our page. And yeah, so now we have only header here. And now we can do a hero section here. So on the hero section, I want to have like a title, description, buttons, and then here a photo of a pizza. All right, so let's maybe create also another component here for our hero. So inside layout, I'm going to add a file. Let's go hero.js. I'm calling this hero because it's always called hero section. So let's do hero, let's do return here, and well, let's just put React fragment for now. And let's see, what do we need here? We need to have, let's maybe do this to a section. So we can put section here, or we can even remove this React fragment because we will have only one HTML element here. And for our section, we need an h1. It will be our main title. We need to have some kind of extra text. So let's put paragraph, and let's put something here. So let's do everything is better with a pizza. Yes, and everything. And for paragraph, let's do pizza is the missing piece. That makes every day complete. Simple yet delicious joy in life. I asked ChatGPT to generate those texts, so don't blame me. All right, so we have this H1 and paragraph. Nothing is displayed here because we are not using our hero inside our page, but let's change this. Let's do hero. Now it's imported, it should be visible. Yeah, now we see this. Let's go back to hero and let's see. Now we also will need to have an image of a pizza. So let's do image, and maybe instead of this image, let's do image from next image. And for alternative text, I'm going to put here pizza. And now we need source here, right, for the pizza image. I have prepared a pizza image here, and I'm going just to download this. We have free source images here, and you can find a link to those inside the description. So now I'm going to put those files. Let's see, I'll put them inside public. So I'm going to put this pizza image here inside public. All right, so we have pizza here, pizza PNG. And I'm going also to put this salad 1 and salad 2. So I'm going to have this one and now salad 2 as well. We will use it later for other elements. So let's see, salad 1 and now salad 2. Oops, it happened to move. Salad 2 to public. Okay. And now try to put our pizza. So let's do slash pizza.png. Let's see if this will work. No, it's missing required width property. I don't want to put the width. I want the width to be automatic. So I'm going to do instead layout fill and object. Let's see, object fit will be contain, I think. Now let's see, now we have a pizza here. All right, so I'm going to put this pizza into a div. Let's see, something like this. And for this div, I'm going to put the width to full and the height to max. Let's see, this didn't change anything. Let's also add relative. Okay, now something has changed. I don't see my pizza, but let's see if I change the width to let's see 16 for example, and this to 16 as well, then we have a pizza here. All right, so as you can see, the image takes the width of the parent div here. But I want to have those texts on the left and pizza on the right. So how can we do this? Let's put the texts into a separate div. So H1 and paragraph here inside this div, and then we have image inside separate div. For our section, we need to put flex, yes, but maybe instead of flex, let's do grid. Let's see, grid, and let's do grid columns 2. So we'll have 2 columns. Now I think we don't need this width and height. So let's see. No, looks like it works. But let's see how big is the div here inside. So here we have the image, here we have the div, and now I think if we make anything bigger, the pizza will get bigger as well. So let's put here for our H1, I'm going to make this bigger. So let's do text for XL. Yeah, that is nice. Everything is better with pizza. I want this to be a little bit bolder, so let's do semi-bold, font semi-bold. Yes, that is nice. Now let's see, and now I would like to have some spacing here. So for our paragraph, I'm going to add a margin top of 4. Let's see, yes, that's cool. Now I need also to have change the colors. Let's do text gray and let's do maybe 500. Yes, that looks fine. And under the paragraph, I also want to have buttons. So let's change this margin to top and the bottom. And now I will put the div for our buttons, and we'll have a button to button order now, and a button to learn more, right? And they look nice here, but I want to style them a little bit. So order now, we'll have some class names here, and those class names will be, I want them to be almost the same as the button to login. So let's do text white, more padding X will be C8 and padding Y will be 2, and we want to make it rounded full 4 corners. Yeah, that's nice. I don't know if it's too big or not. Now let's keep it this way. Now we want to have spacing between those buttons. So for this div, that is the parent of our buttons, I will do flex and gap of 4. Now let's see. Yeah, we have learn more here, and we have order now. Now for this order now, I also want to have an arrow to the right here inside this button. So for this, I'm going to use hero icons, and let's search for right. And this is something that I want. But let's see if we have more options here. No, it looks like this one is what we're going to use. So copy JSX. Let's see. Yeah, copy JSX. And let's put it as a separate component. So inside components, I'm going to create a new directory, icons. And inside icons, I will do new file. And let's call this one maybe just right.js. Export default function, let's do right, and let's do return. And here I would just paste this thing that I copied from the hero icons. Here we have a class name with width 6 and height 6. I'm going to cut it from here, and instead I'm going to define it as a variable here, and it will be a property from here where the default will be this. All right, so now class name will be class name, and this will be a property with those defaults. Now let's go back to hero, and we have this order now. I'm going to add this right icon here, and let's see, yeah, something like this. To make this next to each other, I'm going to put flex and a little gap of 2. So now let's see, yeah, that's better. And the padding on the sides doesn't need to be that big. So instead of 8, I will do 4. Now let's see. Yeah, that's much better. Now for the learn more, I want to also use flex and this arrow. So let's do flex, gap 2, and inside I'm going also to add our right arrow. Let's see. Yes, I also want to have some spacing from the top and the bottom. So the py2 and 2 padding for the top and the bottom. Now I want this to be dark gray. So let's do text gray 500. Yeah, maybe a little bit darker. So let's test with 400 darker. So another way around, 600. Yeah, let's try with semi-bold. Yeah, I think this works nice. So we have learn more and we have order now. For order now, I want this to be uppercase. So I can change the text, or I can do uppercase class here. I think that the text is too big, but let's see. Yeah, I think that text inside the button is a little bit too big. So I'm going to make it smaller. So let's do text and let's do SM for small. And did it change anything? I don't know. Let's see. If I remove this, yeah. So let's put it back, text SM. Now the text is not aligned with this icon here. So we have flex here, so we can do items center, and now it's much better. But I think for the text, we can move it from the button and we can put it to the div above here, so it will be on both buttons. Right, so now I think it's better. Let's see, we have this and this. I want to have some space spacing here, right? So for our div with texts, I'm going to add some class names here. I'm going to do padding on the top and the bottom of 4. So let's see. Yeah, now we have this much of padding. Let's double this. Let's do 8. So now we have this much of padding. Yeah, I think that is better. Let's now see here inside our inspector. Yeah, we have this much of padding. Let's make it even bigger. Let's do 12. And our pizza got even bigger, so that is nice. Now I would like this column. Let's see. We have 2 columns and that are identical in width, and this is because we have this grid columns too. And what I want to do is to make this column first a little bit shorter than this one. So how can we do this? We can go here and let's try to put this for style, into style. So I'm going to remove this, and now let's put style, and I'm going to do grid template columns, and here I will do, maybe not, let's not do this here. Instead, I'm going to rename this to, instead of grid, I will put just hero section, and I'm going to put it inside our style CSS or global CSS. Let's see where it is. We have inside app, we have global CSS. Let's do section.hero, and I want to apply some Tailwind classes like grid, and I want to do grid template columns to, let's see, I want to do 1.4 FR and then 0.6 FR. Let's see. Yeah, so now we have something like this. Pizza is much bigger, and now I would like to go to hero, and I want to split this text another way. Let's see, everything is better with a pizza. First, I want the pizza to be red, so I'm going to cut this pizza from here, and let's do span with class names like text primary. Let's put pizza here inside. I'm going to put span into separate lines here. So now we have something like this. I need to have a space here, no breaking space. Now I want to have a break line after everything. So let's do break BR. Everything is better with a pizza, and I want to have break line here after better. So let's do BR, and I'm going to put with a here. Everything break line is better break line with a pizza. All right, so now we have something like this, and yeah, I think it looks much better. Now for this text here below, I would like to style it a little bit more. So I want this to be smaller, text SM. So we have only 2 lines here, and I think now it works fine. The only problem will be for mobile, but it's both problematic for now for the header because we don't have enough space, and also for the hero section. But we will fix it later. For header we need some mobile navigation, and for header we need to put this into 2 separate lines, or we can maybe get rid of this pizza image. Right, so we have header, we have hero, and now it would be nice to put some kind of menu underneath with pizzas, right? So let's do this. But before we will do this, I think I would like to have a little bit more spacing here between those, and even here between lines. So for paragraph, margin top and margin bottom, I would do 6. So we have more spacing here, and maybe let's do even more spacing here between those lines. So inside our H1, let's do leading, let's see 3. No, that's too little. Let's do like 12. Let's see, yeah, that works, but let's see 16. No, this doesn't change anything. Let's try 24. No, nothing changed. So I think we don't have enough values here, but let's try with leading clues. Okay, that's too big. Let's see, leading, we have also relaxed. So we have something like this. Let's try with leading normal. That much of spacing. I think that's too much. Let's see how much we will have without anything. So I'm going just to remove. Well, let's keep it this way. I think it looks good enough. All right, so now I'm going to put a menu here. So I want to have a title menu here, maybe with some subtitle. And as you remember, we want to have those salad leaves on the sides, right? So let's do this. This will not be part of our hero. So let's go to, let's see, inside app, we have this page. And let's change here because we want to have another element that will be our home menu, right? So maybe let's put this into layout. I'm going to do a new file and let's do home menu. .js, and let's do export default function as always for new components, home menu, and return parenthesis React fragment for now. And well, here inside I want to have small letters check hour and then bigger letters menu. So I'm going to do h3 check hour. Let's put a div here instead of React fragment, check hour, and h2 menu. Yeah, something like this. We don't see anything because we are not using this yet. So let's go here and let's put this home menu here, check our menu. Yes, and now I would like to make, I would like to style this a little bit. First, I want to do class name here, and I want to do text center. I want to center the texts here. Maybe we can center only the headers, not the whole section. So let's do text center here into a separate div. Let's put those here, and this div will have no classes for now, and we can maybe change this to a section. All right, so checkout will have will be gray and smaller, but uppercase. Text gray 500, maybe 600, and let's see, I'll put this here. Yeah, and I want to make this a little bit wider so we'll have more code visible here. All right, so text gray 600, let's make it semi-bold, maybe a little bit lighter, let's do 500, yes, and then for our menu, I want to do class names, and I want to do red, so let's do text primary, and bold, so let's do bold, font bold, and I want to make this big, so let's do text 4XL, yeah, something like this. Can we add italic here? Yeah, let's see if I remove it. Oops, I have removed too much. Bold, font bold, and text 4XL like this. And now if I add italic, yeah, I think this will work for now. Now I want to decrease the spacing here. So for our H3, I'm going to put leading 3. Yeah, I think that is better. Maybe let's do 4. Yeah, 4, and this will work for now. Now I want to have those, as you remember, those salad leaves. And I'm going to put those into a separate div. So let's use next image component here. And for the source, I'm going to put salad1.png here. And now we need alt text salad like this. It's missing the width property. All right, let's put some width. Let's do width of 100. I think it needs to be like this and with pixels. No, invalid width, numeric value. Okay, so let's put just 100. Has missing height property. Well, I don't want to put width and height then. I want to put this layout to be the same thing that we did for hero. Let's see, layout fill and object fit contain. So let's do fill and object fit contain. But now we need div for both of the salad images. So let's put this here, and for this div let's put height of I don't know, 16, and now we have a huge salad here. Let's change this to 4. I forgot to do relative. Yes, so we have this small salad thing here. Let's increase it to 16. Yes, and 48, something like this. Yes, and let's do for second salad thing. So I'm going to copy and paste this, and let's change this to salad 2. That's nice. Now, instead of relative, I want to do absolute, and now we don't see them. But if I add here left 0, I still don't see them. Let's add top 0 here, still don't see them. But if we maybe add on this one relative, no. I think this is because if we set to absolute, then we don't have any width, and that is what destroys everything. So I will remove it. I will put relative as it was here and relative here. Yes, and now what I want to do is to take this one to the left side, and this one should go to the right side, right? So how can we do this? Let's maybe first try back with absolute, but we are going to add the width here, width of 48. So now let's see. Yes, this kinda worked. So let's do the same thing here, 48, and let's add absolute positioning. Yes, and this kind of worked. So now this one should be left 0, and the second one right 0. So now it kind of works. If we remove relative from this, and then it's more to the left, but doesn't help that much. Let's change this to absolute, and let's do left of 0, right of 0 on this parent, and well, then we have something like this. It's not aligned to the left side all the way. Let's see why. Let me inspect this one. We have section here, then we have this div here. Maybe because we need to add here width of full. Let's see. No, this didn't help. Let's see what happens if we just remove absolute from here. Let's see. Then we have something like this. Maybe I can even put absolute back, but this div is the parent of this image. And I think what we need to do is to align the image to the left. So let's see if I do here text left, if this will change anything. No. Let's see, justify start. No, this didn't help. Let's try again. I'm going to hit inspect here. We have the image here, and the whole image takes this amount of space. What we can do is to do minus left. So let's do minus left, and let's do 12. And now it kind of works. So let's do the same thing for this one. Let's do minus right, and let's do 12 here as well. And this kind of worked, right? So now I want this one to pull it up a little bit. So we have right minus 12. Let's do top, and let's do minus 12 as well. So now we have something like this. We have this horizontal scroll now, as you can see. And I think it's because this image takes too much space, as you can see here. And we can fix it by doing that the section will have overflow hidden, or something like this, or this one will have overflow hidden. So this one that is absolute, let's do overflow hidden. Let's maybe change to overflow X to hidden. Now we don't see anything because this div is 0 in height. So let's see. I'm going to add height here of 64. Yes, I think that's maybe not enough. So let's do 120. I don't know. Let's do full. And let's see. Now we have something like this. And the problem is that this image is cropped here. So let's see this one. This one is cropped, and I think it's cropped because of this one. Overflow X hidden, yes. So this looks like overflow X hidden doesn't work as it should. Let's then do just style like this, and let's do overflow X to hidden. Now it still removes this top part, so that's not good. Let's remove this overflow X. We have width of full, and the problem is that this image that we pulled to the right, it has like some padding or empty space on the right side. And this happens because our parent div here is a square. So I think maybe it would be easier to actually use this width and height for images. So let me try to remove this layout and content fit. And I'm going to put this width and height instead. 195 for height, and let's see now. Let's see. Yeah, now it's I think it's better. Let's remove this right of this, and instead I want to have right of 0. Whoops, right of 0. Yeah, I think this will work better. Let's see. Yeah, but now we don't need this width here on this one. We can just remove it. Yeah, now it's better. Now we can do top like -18 or 24. Yes, that looks nice. We will put it under this pizza slice in a moment. Let's see. Let's try here index or maybe z0 minus z of 10. Yeah, that's better. And this one looks fine, I would say. But we can also make it with width and height. Let's see the width and height of this one. Let's see. This is width and height 192. Not sorry here. 109, 189. So let's put, let's remove this layout and object fit, and let's do width of this, and for the height we will have this. Okay, so now we have something like this, and now we don't need the width, we don't need the height. You can also remove the height from here, and we don't need this left to be -12. Let's just put left 0, and let's do minus top of 12. Let's see now. Yeah, I think it worked. It looks nice. Now I want to pull the left one even more. Let's put it here. Yeah, and I want to pull this one a little bit. So let's see. Let's do 24. Yes, but it should be underneath. So let's do minus z of 10. Yeah, something like this. This is maybe too much, so I'm going to put here like 100 pixels. Let's see. Yeah, let's change this to 70. Yeah, this I think this looks nice. Maybe we can pull this one even more on the right side. Let's see, minus, let's do 300 pixels. That's too much. 200, 100. Yeah, I think this will work. Now for those columns, I want the pizza to be maybe even bigger, or I don't know. Let's keep it for now as it is. We have our menu here, and now what I want to do is underneath I want to have a grid of meals, right? Of menu items. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So here we have div for the headers. Let's put here a div for a grid, right, with menu items. So I'm going to put grid columns 3. Let's put here grid columns 3. And let's also add a gap of 4. And now let's put an example meal. So it will be a div with an image, but for now I'm going to put regular image for now. It will say pizza as an alternative text for now. As you can see, it's broken here. Now for this div, I want to make it gray, background gray of 300. Let's do padding of 4. Let's do rounded corners of not full, but something like medium, or maybe let's do large. Oops. Yes, and I want the text to be centered inside. Let's do text center. Yeah, something like this. And now under the image, we'll have a title. Let's maybe do H4. Pepperoni pizza. Just for now, underneath we will have some small description that will be short, like this maybe. I'm going to put this into separate line because for the paragraph we are going to put text to be gray 500, something like this, and I want this one to be small SM. Yeah, this looks nice. And now I want to add some classes for the title. I want this to be semi-bold, and I want to have some margin on the top and the bottom of, let's say, 4. I don't know, maybe 4 is too big. Let's do 3. Yeah, maybe still too big. Let's do just 2. And now under here, I want to have a button added to cart, right? So let's do button with some classes. And background primary, text white, rounded full, padding on the sides of, let's do 4, padding on the top and the bottom of 2. And here let's put add to cart, and let's do $12, just for now. Later we will pull it from the database. Right, more padding on the sides, so let's do 6. Yes, and let's see. Yeah, I think it looks almost nice. If we zoom out, the header should be bigger, so let's do text XL. Yes, this looks fine. Later we'll have also a pizza image here. Maybe let's put the pizza here, a working pizza PNG, just for now. And yeah, now I want to have some spacing here. So for the button, let's do margin top of 4. Let's see. Yeah, we can increase this margin top and bottom to 3. Yeah, I think this will work. Maybe a little bit lighter gray. So let's see. Background gray. Let's do 200. Yeah, I think 200 looks nice. Now even more spacing on the button on the sides. So I'm going to do 8 here. Yeah, I think this looks nice. Now this is our box for one item. I'm going to put it as a separate component. So we have components here, icons, icons layout. I'm going to put another directory called menu, and I'm going to take this whole div from here, and I'm going to create a new file here inside menu called menu item.js, and here export default function menu item, and let's do return, and we want to return this div. Now let's use this one inside our where home menu here. So let's do menu item, and we have this one. Now we can put more of those. Whoops, let's remove this line. Let's copy. I want to have like 6, I don't know, something like this. And this looks nice, except that I would like to have some spacing here. So here let's do margin bottom of 4 at least. Yes, this looks okay. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Maybe we can do a bigger gap, but it's 4. It's already big enough. Now let's go inside menu item, and I would like to have some more things here. Like I want to have on hover effect. On hover, the background will be white for the box. It didn't work. Let's see. Hover, background white. Let's see if I refresh. No. Nothing have changed. Let's see. Now still nothing. Let's see if I inspect this one. So let's see here. It doesn't have let's see, inside this one for our first meal here, open, we have hover background white, so it doesn't give us white color. Maybe we need to group this. Let's see. No, still nothing. Let's see what happens if I remove background gray 200, and on hover I want to do background red 500. Still nothing. I hover this and nothing happens. But maybe I'm not hovering because I cannot select the text here, as you can see. So let's see what is blocking here. And the thing that is blocking is this div with the salads. So let's go to our hero and let's fix it. I think it's let's see, it's not hero, it's from the menu, not menu item, home menu, and absolute here we have have of full. Let's remove this one, and now as you can see it works. So let's go back to menu item, let's put background gray 200, and now on hover it works. We have this white. Let's add the transition all. So we'll have small, like 200 milliseconds transition between the colors. And now I also want to do on hover, I want to have a small shadow. So let's see, bigger shadow. Let's do shadow medium. Let's see, bigger to XL. Yeah, something like this. And I want to do the shadow bigger. So let's do hover, shadow, or darker. Let's do black. Yeah, so we have something like this. Maybe now I can make it, maybe not black, or maybe let's do black, but 50% black. So now we have something like this. If I close it, yeah, I think it looks nice. Maybe we can make it smaller. Let's do this to medium. The shadow, yeah, let's change this black 50 to black 75. Let's see now. Okay, that's too much. Let's do 25 of black. Let's see. Yeah, I think this looks nice. Right, so now we have here some pizzas, and I think the images are too big. So, but we'll have different images later. But let's put a div that will be parent for our image. I want to do text center, and I want to do max height of, let's see, let's do 8. Yes, and for the image here, I want to add the class names as well. Height auto with auto, something like this. And this didn't change anything. Let's see why. I'm going to inspect this element here, and the div is this big, but the image is much bigger. I think that instead of height and width, we should have max height auto and max width auto. No. Let's see, max height will be, I just put maybe here just 10 and see how this will behave. I think this is better, so I'm going to remove this max height from the div. And now for the image, let's see, let's make it a little bigger. So let's do max height of 12, maybe 24, somewhere like this. Now I want this to be centered, so I'm going to add the block here and MX auto, so it will be centered. Yeah, and I think this is a little bit nicer. All right, so we are done with our menu, and the next things that we need to fix will be for our homepage to have about and contact. And let's go to our page, and about and contact should be super simple. Let's do section for contact. So for about and the contact, I would like to reuse those two. Check out menu, but I will have a different text for those. We have this inside home menu. Let's see, here we have a checkout menu, and I want to make a component of this. So I'm going to copy this, and let's go to components, layout, and let's do new file. and let's call this one section headers.js, and let's do export default function section headers. And here we will have two properties, sub header and the main header. Yeah, something like this. Now let's do return, and inside let's just put those two. And here inside, instead of checkout, we will have a sub header, and here instead of menu, we will have a main header. Something like this. I'll put those into separate lines so it will be easier to read. Now let's go to home menu, and instead of this we can do section headers. For the sub header we will have check out, and for the main header we will have a menu. Yes. So now let's go back to our page.js, and now we want to do first about. So let's do here inside section headers, and I want to do a sub header or pre-header of what can we do, our story, and main header will be about us, something like this. So let's see. Yeah, now we want to put it in the middle, right? So let's do class names here, text center. We want to do margin on the top and the bottom of at least 8. Will be probably better with something like 16. So we'll have some spacing here. Now, paragraph for some lorem ipsum, something like this, but I want to add the class names. I want to do max width of 2XL, MX auto, so it will be centered, and let's see, and some spacing on the top of 4, and text should be grayish, 500, and I think this will be good enough. Maybe we can do another paragraph also with lorem ipsum, and I would like to do the same styling for the texts. So I will put a div with class names of this text gray 500, and instead of having this text gray 502 here, I'm going to put those paragraphs here into this div. And we need to have more also this max width 2XL. I'm going to put this on this div above, same with this MX auto. Let's put it here. Now I would like to put margins here. We don't need class names here. I'm going to put margin top of 8 here. Let's see, 8 is too much. Let's do 4. Now I would like to have a spacing between the paragraphs. So how can we do this? We can do something like this. On the parent we can do flex. We can do flex column, I think, and we can do gap of 4. And now we have spacing between paragraphs. Maybe we can add another one, paragraph with some lorem ipsum. Let's make it even shorter, maybe something like this, and let's make it even more narrow. So I will do medium, yeah, something in this style. I think this works nice. Now the last thing is our contact, and let's go to, well, we are here. Let's put another section for contact, and we are going to use those section headers. And for subheader, let's do don't hesitate, and the main header will be contact us. All right, and let's maybe put this here and this here, something like this. Now I would just put a phone number, like something like this, plus 46. I don't know, we can put any number here, but this will be an a tag. So let's do a tag with ref, and let's put this not h1. Let's maybe do this as an, it doesn't need to be an h. So let's just put this number into an a tag, and it will be tel colon and the phone here without any spaces. And let's put into new line, and I'm going to add class name here, or class names. Text should be 4XL, super big. Let's see, yes, something like this. I also want to make everything text centered. So now we have something like this, and now let's see. I want to do margin on the top and the bottom of 8, and also here for the phone number, margin top of 8. And this didn't work. Maybe let's put this into separate div. Class name, margin top of 8, and let's put this 8 tag here inside. We don't need this margin top inside here because we have it here, and I think this works nice. Contact us, and we have this phone number here below. Maybe we can do something like an underline, and let's do text gray 500. Yeah, now the last, let's just do a small footer on the bottom of the page. I want to do a border top, so we'll have some spacing here, yes. And let's put like padding of 8 inside, and we can do some copyright or something like this. Something like this. Let's do copy 2023, all rights reserved. Something like this, just to have something here. And let's make it also center. So let's do text center, and let's do text gray 500. Yeah, I think this will work. Now let's also do margin top of 8, so we have some spacing. Let's do more 16. And I think this looks nice, looks good enough. You can improve styling on the about us and the contact us. We can also put it into separate pages. For now those links doesn't work, but we have a basic styling for our website, right? So we have some here menu, it should be menu here, right? Right, so let's go to home, not home, here we can, or actually home menu. Let's put menu here, right? Looks fine. So we have now some basic layout and styling for our page. And now we can do that. Those links will scroll to a separate section, to the correct section, sorry. Or we can later also change that all of those links will go into separate pages, right? So there are different approaches for this. Maybe for now I will keep it this way, that we have only one page, and later I will change that we have several pages. But the most important is that we just need this basic styling. So now we can fix the login. So we can log in and add pizzas or add meals to cart or something like this. But what I want to do is also that we can log in and we can actually add a small admin panel, so we can add meals, menu items to our database. Because for now everything is hard coded, as you can see, and we just put everything is just pepperoni pizza. We don't have any separate images, separate prices. It's just in some HTML. So the next thing will be to fix the login and to do a small admin panel for all of this. Okay, now let's continue and let's fix authentication. So here in the header we have this login button. But I think this time for authentication, I'm going to show you how to do this both with social sign-in, so with Google account, and with credentials, so username and password. So to do this, first I would like to have both login and register. So let me see. We have this header here. We need to go to header, and we have one navigation here, and I would like to have two navigations. So first would be the regular, this one for pages, and the other will be for login and register. So here we have our one navigation. I will put another one, and I will move this login here, and I also want to have another link that will have some graph here, and I will have register here. So now we have something like this. I don't need the login here. So now we have something like this, and I want to change those two. So first login and then register. So here let's do login, and here let's do register. Yeah, and now I also want to have same styling here. So flex, items, center, and gap 8 as above, text gray 500 and semi-bold. And yeah, now it's much better. Maybe we can decrease the spacing here from gap 8 to maybe gap 4. Yeah, I think this works nice. We could also probably decrease this spacing, so we will have like left side and right side. So let me see if I just move this logo inside the first navigation, how it looks like. Yeah, I think it looks much better. Maybe we could increase the spacing here. So let me see. We need to go to hero section. So let's go to hero here, and hero, let's add some margin top of let's do 8. So we'll have some spacing. Maybe that's too much. Let's do 4. Yeah, I think that's that is much better. Right, so now we have login and register. Let's go back to our header, and let's fix those links. So for login, it will go to /login, and for register, it will go to /register. All right, that is good. Now let's see. We want to have some kind of register page. So if I click here, it goes to /register, but we get 404. So let's fix it. I'm going to create a register page. So inside app, I will do a new directory called register, and inside I will do page.js. And here let's do export default function, and let's call this one maybe register page. The function name doesn't really matter here, but I try to do something. I try to name it with some meaningful name. So let's do return, and let's put a div that will say register. Yeah. So now we have register. Small problem I have here is that we don't see the header and the footer and nothing. And that is because here inside this page, you can see we have header here and footer here. And it should be moved to our layout. So let's do this from the page. I'm going to remove this header and I will put it to our layout. So here, let's do header like this, and we have header. And now let's also move the footer that is hard coded. So let's grab it from here, copy, and let's paste it under the children. So we have now some footer. Right, that's nice. Let's go back to our page inside register, and now let's see. Now I would like to have like header here, register, and it should be this red. So let's see. Maybe I will make this to a section, not like this, section for HTML. Let's put h1 that will say register, and let's add some class names here so we can, for example, text center this, text center, and I want this to be text primary for the color, and I want to make it bigger. So let's do text, let's do maybe 4XL. Yeah, this works. Now I want to have some spacing here. So for this section, I'm going to add margin top of 8. Yeah, that's much better. So now it would be nice to have some kind of inputs, and I want to fix the navigation a little bit, because now if I click one of those, it doesn't do anything. So I will go to my header, and let's fix that home goes to /, and same for the logo, it should go to /, and I think that's it for now. So I can go back to the home page, yes, and to register. All right, now for our register page, here below, I would like to have some kind of form, right? So under this H1, let's do a form. I will remove this action for now, and let's add an input that will say something like, yeah, let's leave it like this, text, and the placeholder will be, let's see, email. Let's change this type to email as well. And we need another one for password. So now we have email and password here. We will also need a button that will be type of submit and register. It will say register. Right. So we have email, password, and register. We need to add some classes to this, but I think we can just add it to all of the inputs and all of submit buttons. So I'm going to add this into our globals here, global CSS. So for input type of email, and input type of password, and input type of text, I'm going to add some styling here, and I'm going to apply Tailwind classes. It will be faster than writing just CSS. So I want to add some border. I want to add a padding of 2. I want to make it border, let's see, grayish. So let's do maybe gray 500. Now let's see, now we have something like this. 500 is too dark. Maybe let's do just 300. And I want light background color. So let's do background gray, and maybe not, let's do 200. So now we have something like this, and I want those to be block. So let's do something like this. So they are under each other. And let's see, I think this will work. Now, I want also to add a few things, like I will apply more classes. I will put block here, and I want to do with full, so they take the full width, and I want to add some margin on the top, on the bottom of 4. So we have something like this, and let's also do rounded corners, rounded 1XL. All right, so we have something like this. Let's make it lighter, so background gray 100, and I think this looks nice. Now let's do the button. First I'm going to do like a default button, and then I will also do a button that is type of submit, or a button that has a class name of submit, just in case in the future if we want to have this kind of button, or maybe anything that has a class name of submit. It can be a link. So first let's do for all of the buttons, I want them to be, let's see, I want them to be grayish maybe, with a border. So let's apply some classes. Let's do block with full, and I want them to be text gray 500, something like this, maybe darker. Let's do 700, yeah. And let's do text not text, I think it should be font semi bold, yes. And what else? Let's add some border in a new line. Apply border, and border, not the border, let's do rounded here, rounded 1XL, something like this. Let's make this border same color as the text, so let's do gray 700. So we have something like this, and I think this looks almost fine. I also need to add some padding. On the sides will be 6, and on the top and the bottom it will be 2. So we have this type of button. Yeah, maybe the border can be a little bit lighter, so let's do 500. Yeah, I think this looks fine for default buttons. But now for the submit buttons, I'm going to apply classes like border 0, and I only want to have background of primary instead, and the text should be white, and I think this will work. Maybe we can decrease the spacing between form items. So here we have 4, let's change it to 2, so everything is closer to each other. Let's go back to our register page. And now I want the whole form to be block, and I want to add max width of XL, and I want to make it center. So let's do MX auto, margins on the sides of auto. So we have something like this. That's too big. Let's do just SM instead, so small. Still big. I want to do then XS. So now we have something like this, and I think this works nice. Now underneath I would like to have a text like or use or login with Google. So here under this form I'm going to add a div and another button, login with Google, something like this. Maybe I will actually put this inside the form, so it will be the same width. Yeah, something like this. And here above I will have a text or login with social media, or login with provider, something like this. And now I would like to have a little bit of spacing here. So for this div, I'm going to add some class names like margin on the top and the bottom of 4, text center, and the text should be grayish. So the text 500, yes, and that looks nice. Maybe even some spacing here. So let's see, from this header, let's do margin bottom of 4. Let's see. Yeah, I think this will work for now. I would like to have a Google icon. Let's see if we can have it on here, hero icons. No, we don't. Then let's just find it. Google icon PNG transparent. Yeah, so we can just grab it from here and website. So now I'm going just to put it here to public, and let's see, I'm going to rename it because it's some random string. Let's do Google. Let's go back here and let's put it here. So I'm going to, not here, to the button. I think I will put it on the beginning of a button. So let's do image, and the source will be /google.png, and here login with Google, or maybe empty alternative text. We will also need to have width and height here, if I remember correctly. So let's do maybe 32 and height of 32 as well. Now let's see how it looks like. Yeah, almost. Let's do a class name of flex. Let's see. Yeah, maybe let's make it smaller. Let's do 24, and let's do a gap of 4. Now let's see, we have something like this. Now I want the text and everything to be in the middle. Let's do justify center. Yeah, now everything is in the middle, and I think it looks nice. Maybe the border could be lighter on the default button. Let's see, global CSS, default button, text border, let's see, with 300. Yeah, I think this looks better. Right, so now we have a register page here, and now I would like to start first by implementing this email and password register. To do this, we are going to use NextAuth. So let's go to NextAuth. And let's see, get started. We need to do yarn add NextAuth. So let's do this, yarn add NextAuth. If you do npm, you can use this, and yeah, but I'm going to use yarn here. Now we need to add this file for pages, but we are not using pages route. We are using the latest Next.js 13 app router. So here's guide for us, and we go here. So let's see, we need to go to app, then API and auth directory. So let's do a new directory API. Then inside, let's do auth directory auth. And then inside we need a directory with this weird name here. And this is because so we can grab all the requests that go to API auth. Let's do new directory, this, and then we need to create the file route.ts. So let's do new file route.ts. All right, so now let's just put this. And let's see. So this will not work because we cannot have those dots here. And now let's see. And now we have an error here saying that we need to have some auth options like providers. So let's do this. Let's scroll here, and I don't see anything about the providers. So let's see here, getting started, configuration. Here we have providers, credentials. So here we have credentials provider, and as you can see, we just need to have, we need to copy this, and we need to have this import. So let's use this import. Let's add this import here. And now for providers, so let's put providers here. Providers will be an array, and for providers we are adding credentials provider. So let's put this one here. All right, so here should be providers plural, and now we have all of this code. So let's get rid of this, and then we have credentials. We have username and password. We need to change this because we will have actually email. That will be type of email, and maybe we don't even need this array here. Let's get rid of this. No, now we have an error. So let's put it back. Email placeholder test at example.com. Then we have a password, type password. Okay, this looks fine. Now, here we have authorize, and you need to provide your own logic that takes the credentials, blah, blah, blah. We cannot do this right now because we don't have any database set up, and we need to first fix that we can register, right? Before we can actually log in. So we will get back to this. First, let's fix that we can actually register. So inside API, I will create a directory called register. And inside I will do a new file route.js. And here I'm going to handle export function post. So when someone sends a post request, I'm going to grab the request information and I'm going to handle this. So let's go back to our register page, and now let's see. We have input, password. This is React, so we need a state for this, right? So let's do const email set email equals use state. From React, default will be empty string, and let's do the same for password, set password like this. So now it's complaining that we are using use state in a server component, and we can just fix it by doing use client on the top. So we will say that this is actually a client component. Now it's fixed. But now what I would like to do is, as you can see, we have state for email and password, but maybe, or maybe not. Let's just use this and let's see how it will go. So here first for email, we are doing value email, and on change, as always, let me put this into separate line. On change, we will get an event, and we will just do set email event target value. And now the same thing for the password. New line here on change. We have event, and we will do set password event target value. So now we should be able to edit here. Yes, that's correct. And we have a button that is type of submit here. And now, because we are submitting this form, let's add here on the form on submit. And what do we want to do? Let's create a function for this, handle form submit, and let's run this function here on submit, handle form submit, like this. And we get an event from the form, and we want to do prevent default, so we will not use this default form sending that we get from HTML. And instead, I want to send a request to our register route inside API. So let's do, maybe We can use either fetch or we can use Axios. Maybe this time let's use fetch. So I want to send a request to /API/register. And now here we can do here method, and the method will be post. And then I want to also, let's put this into lines like this. I want to send body, and body will be JSON. So let's do JSON stringify, and let's see, JSON stringify, and I want to send an object of email and password. All right, and I should probably also send headers like content type. I think it is that what we are sending is actually application JSON. I think that's it, and this should work. So now let's see what happens if I just put test. But before I will hit register, let me open the console and let's see network. This is what I'm interested in. Let's click register. Okay, this doesn't work because I need to put an email, testexample.com. Now let's see, register. We get 500 error. So let's see here, what's the error about? So no response is returned from the route. Okay, that's correct because we have an empty function here. So let's just return response JSON. And what do we want to send? Let's send just okay. Now if I clear here, click register, we get 200 and it says okay. So this works. But now we want to add the user to the database so we can later do this authentication that we try to copy from NextAuth, right? So we want to save user to a database. We don't have any database yet, but I'm going to use Mongo database. I will just quickly create it. Let's go to Mongo Atlas, sign in, and I will sign in with my Google account to create an empty new project. I'm going to create a new project and it's for free. Let's call this one food ordering. Yes, I think that will work. Next, create project. All right, and now we need to go to database and we need to build a database. And I don't want the paid version, I want a free version. So I will go here, and this really doesn't matter here. I will just hit create. Yeah, some CAPTCHA. Okay, now we need to create a user and password for our user admin for the database. So I'm going to name it like this, food ordering, and let's generate a password, some random password. I'm going to copy it and I will put it into my project inside .env, and let's just put it as a comment for now. Something like this, so we don't lose it. Let's create the user. And now here, IP addresses. As you can see, I can add my current IP address, but it's already added automatically. So I can just do finish and close. Go to overview. And now it's creating the database for me. One thing I would like to show you something. If we go to database access, or not network access, add IP addresses. When you publish your website somewhere, you need to either add IP address of the server here, or you need to click this one, allow access from anywhere, because otherwise your app will not be able to connect to the database from another IP. Because when you deploy it to another server, the app will try to connect the database from that another server, and that server has another IP address than your home, so it's not your home IP address. Let's go back to the database and let's see. Yes, it's created, so we have a database. Let's go to connect, and I want to have a connection string, so like an address to the database. We can select one of those, and here, as you can see, we can just have the connection string that we can just copy. I think that you can just pick any option here. If you do connect and then shell, you also have a connection string here, kinda. Or if you go, I don't know, to VS Code, you also have a connection string. That is almost the same, I think. So here I want to add it. So let's do Mongo URL. And let's put it here. So let's have it here as a connection string. And now, as you can see here, we need to replace this password thing. So I'm going to cut this password from here, and I'm going to put it here instead. Now, it ends here with a slash. And you should always put some name here after the slash, because this will be your database name. So you can do like food ordering or a test. I think that if you don't put any name, then the default name for the database will be test. Right, let's save it. We have a database, we have a connection string, but now we need to go back to our app API register route. And here, instead of OK, I want to save a user to the database when you register, right? So to do this, I need to connect to our database with this connection string, and I want to create a user, put a user into collection. So to do this, I'm going to use Mongoose as always, yarn add Mongoose. And now this one is installing. For Mongoose, we need to create models for the database. So I'm going to put this inside app. Let's do a new directory called models. And I will create the model for our user. Let's do user.js. And here, let's define how our user will look like inside the database. So let's do const user schema and new schema from Mongoose. Let's import this. And now inside we just define how it will look like. So we will have an email, and now type of this will be string, and it will be required. So it's the required true. And let's also add that it will be, I think, unique to true. Okay, now what else do we need? We want to have password, right? So let's do type string, and it will be required. We can also do some validation here. So we can do a validation function like this, and it will be a function. So let's put a function, and I think it should just return true or false, but let's make sure. Mongoose validate function. So this is how we can put validate function. You can return a promise, or you can also do like this as an object, and then you do validator, but you can also use required instead. And you can do something like this, required to a function like this, and you can just check that, for example, here you check the drink and you check that bacon is bigger than 3. This is funny, but let's use something more professional. So I will do validator, and let's see, validate. So I'm going to put it as an object like this. So first, let's put this into separate lines so it will be easier to read. We have validate, and we are going to change this validate to an object like this. And inside we need to have message. So let's do message, and will be well, the message will depend of how the password looks like, right? So maybe instead of having this as an object like this, we will have just a function, and we will just do new error if something is wrong. So let's do validate, and let's put this back as a function. And now, what do we want to check? We want to check that the password is looks correct, right? So let's do some testing. Let's say that I think that the value will be actually here. So, or we can do something like this and this password. So let's do this. Let's just check first that validate colon. I think we can use this dot value only where we use regular function and not arrow function. But as you can see, the value is here. So we can just do pass as password, and we can do just pass, and we can check this string. So first, let's check if password has the length and it's bigger than, let's see, at least 5 characters. And if it's not, if it's smaller, then, or maybe we can first check if we have a length. If we don't have a length, or pass length is smaller than 5, then we will throw an error the same way they do this. Let's see, here, new error, the new error, and let's do in, not invalid password, let's do password, let's do must be at least 5 characters. Yeah, and then let's test this. So we have schema and we validate the password. We also need to have a model here. So let's do export const user equals. I want to check first the models if this exists. So let's check models if we have user. Otherwise, I want to create a new model with model function of the name user and our user schema. Right, and here for the schema, I'm going also to add timestamps to true, just in case. And now let's try to create our user inside register route. So here, first we want to connect the database. So let's do mongoose import mongoose from mongoose connect, and here process.env.mongo URL. So we connect to our database, and now we want to create the user. So let's do await, because it's a database query. Let's import our user, yes, from models, and now let's do create, and we want to grab the data from request body, right? So to do this, first we need to grab the body. So let's do body equals, and now to do this we need to do await and request not body, request JSON, because we are sending JSON. Right, we have this red error on the await because we need to make this async function, and now it's all right. Now here we just put the body and the user should be created. Just to be sure, I'm going to assign this newly created user to a constant here. So let's do user equals user, or maybe we can name it created user, and let's put it here so we can see this inside the response, created user. And now let's see here, if I hit register again, we get pending, and now we have status 200. And inside the preview, you can see that now we get ID, we get updated at, created at, and the timestamps, and we have created user. The validation seems like it didn't work. So let's see, user, and this didn't work. So let's do return false here. Let's see if this will help. And let's delete our user from the database. So let's close this. Let's browse collections, and we have users, and let's delete this one. Right, and now let's try again, register, and it looks like it still works. So this validate doesn't seem to work, but this can be the issue because we need to restart our environment. So let's start again, and let's try to do another user. Let's clear here, register, pending. Okay, let's see, 500. Let's see why here. And we have an error, cannot resolve models user, module not found. That's weird. Let's see why. User schema. We are exporting user. Let's go to the route, app models user. everything looks fine here. Let's just restart here and let's try again, register. No, still the same problem. User cannot resolve app models user. Let's see why this looks fine. Let's go inside here, export const user. Maybe let's assign it first. Let's assign it first, and then let's maybe use export default user like this. And let's go to the route and let's just import it this way. Now let's see, if I hit register, we get an error. I'm going to restart an environment once again, register, and we still get the error. Let's see how our imports work. So we have components here, this looks fine, app models user. Here we have, let's see, do we have anything inside next config? No, this looks fine. Let's go back to API register route. Okay, I'm going to try to move our models maybe outside of the app to the source. Let's do refactor, and now let's go back to API register route, and let's remove this import for the user, and let's try to import it again. So let's do user from models user, and now I'm going to restart my environment, and let's see if this helps. Let's do test 3 maybe, or at least test 2, register, and now we have still the same error, can't resolve models user, right? Let's see what's the problem there. Let's go to models user, and let's maybe put it as it was, as not the default. Just export const user equals this, and inside the route let's import it this way as not the default, and let's try again. So hit register, and I will also restart the environment, hit register, and still the same problem. Let's see if it helps if I add .js here, and let's restart here, register. No, still the same error, can't resolve models user.js. So I think I know what can be the problem. This is some compiler errors, and this can be fixed here. I think we just need to define all of the paths. So for example, let me define that we will have app components and models. So let's do app here, and I want to do the same for models and the same thing for components, and this thing should fix everything. So let me restart this, and now let's see, inside here we have models, yes, and now let's see if I clear here, register, pending, still 500, let's see why, cannot resolve models user, and let's go to source models, right? So this didn't work, but let's go to the route, and let's see. Instead of this, we can just import the regular way, or let me also try something more. Let's go back, and here let's also add the base URL to a dot, and let's also do include with include paths. You just do include, and let's do a dot. This doesn't work, okay, because we need to do double quotes like this. And now let's restart yarn dev, and let's see if I hit register. No, we still get the same error. Let me try another thing, and it's called module. Specify what module code is generated, and let's do ES 2020. Does it fix anything? No, I don't think so, but let's restart, register. No, still the same error. Let's get rid of this. Let's go back to our route, and let's import this regular way without any shortcuts, models and user. So now it's saying you can shorten this with this, but this doesn't work, but this should. So let me restart. Let's hit register. And now we have something else. We have user validation failed on the password. So we need to provide the longer password, right? So because as you remember, inside models, we have this validation for the password validate, and we have that the length needs to be at least 5. Right, so we have test2. Let's put test2 here as well. Hit register, and now we get 200 here, as you can see. So now it works. Let's see, test2. Let's go to the database. Let's refresh here, and we have 2. Let's delete the old one. And we have only one with this email and this password. The only thing that is problem here, we don't want to store the password with clear text. So instead, I'm going to use bcrypt for this. So I think for this, we can do something like this. User schema, and add a pre. So before save, I want to do, I want to run a function, and we will have a next here that we need to run. So it will know that we can, we want to go further. Let's maybe console log everything from here, console log, and let's do rest. Let's grab everything, rest, and let's see how this will look like. So let's do test3 with test3 as a password, and let's try to register, and nothing happened. Let's try again. I'll restart everything here. Test4, clear everything, register. We have only save options here and nothing more. All right, so it looks like this pre will not work because we don't have the document, but let's try here if we can do add the password and add the test123 on the end. And let's do this when everything is correct. So let's do here return password, and let's see if this will change anything. Let's restart here, and let's do here 5 and here 5 as well, register, and let's check inside our database. Let's do refresh, and we have another user. Let's see here, but the password is only test5 without this test123 on the end. All right, if this doesn't work, let's see if we can do something after the validation. So user schema after. So let's do after. Do we have after? No, we have pre. We should also have a post, and post validate. Let's do a function, and I only want to do console log on the arguments that we will have here. I just want to see what's inside. Let's try with test6, and I think I forgot to restart here. Let's do test7, register, and now we have arguments, and we have one argument, and this is our document. So here we can change this document, or we can change this to user. We can call it user, and let's see if our test7 has been created, pushed to the database. Let's see on the bottom. Yes, we have test7. So here I would like to do something like this: user, and I want to change the password to hashed, something like this. And now I want to check that if I create a user with test8, register. I forgot to restart here. As always, let's do test9, register. And now let's go to here, refresh. And let's go test9. As you can see, the password is hashed, but we don't want to make it hash. Instead, we want to use, for example, bcrypt to hash our password. So let's see. We just grab bcrypt like this, and we just hash the password. So let's do yarn add bcrypt. And now let's see how we can hash the password. So let's do grab the password, pass equals user password. And now the new password should be the encrypted version. So let's see. Here we have usage sync. So we can do just something like this. Require bcrypt, and we need to do generate salt, and then we do something like this. So let's try to put this here, and instead of var we want to have const. And we need to import this bcrypt, and let's see if it's imported. No, it's not. So let's do here import bcrypt from bcrypt, and here as a string. And now let's see if this will work. Here we have hashed password. Let's do hashed password equals this, and this here we want to put our password, right? So let's do pass. We can maybe rename this to something like not hashed password, and here let's put not hashed password, and here user password will be hashed password, right? And we can just simplify this by putting this like this, user password equals, and this bcrypt. All right, now let's try to restart here our environment, and let's see if this will work. Let's do test 10 register, and let's see, everything worked. Let's refresh our database, and let's see on here, as you can see, we have a hashed password, so that is nice. So now let's see, we have hashed password, but maybe we can simplify this. We can make a function somewhere else, and we can reuse this function. So because I don't want to put like this generate salt here, I just want to have one function for this. Or maybe we don't need this because we will have it only in one place on the user. Let's keep it like it is now. All right, so now we can create the user. We should have an alert that the user has been created because everything went okay. So let's go to our register page, right? And now we want to have, here we have a fetch. Let's add a wait here, and let's add async here. And now after here, we want to say everything went okay. So we want to update this UE to say everything is fine. To update, we will need to have some kind of state. Let's say user created, set user created, and default will be false. And I want to have some kind of state for when it's saving. So let's do const creating user, and set creating user, default will be false. All right, and here on the beginning I will set creating user to true, and here I will do set creating user to false. And when it's creating, I'm going to block this button and block those inputs. So let's see, for inputs I will do not blocked but disabled, and we want to make it disabled if is creating user, if this is true. Same for this input, and for this button that we have here, register, I want to make it disabled as well. So like this, I guess. Let's test with user 11, and I'm going to inspect this, let's see, this button. Let's see if I click, nothing has changed, but I think everything just worked. So something is wrong. Maybe we need to add some styling. So let's go to global CSS, and now here I want to do styling for all of those inputs, but disabled version of those. So let's do disabled, and let's do disabled, and here disabled. And what do I want to do? I want to do, maybe we can remove the border, or we can make them darker. Let's do darker. Apply background and gray 700. All right, and now let's see if we do 12. Let's just refresh, and we have an error, cannot resolve components layout header. Okay, let's see why. Maybe because we've changed this, let's see, not here, tsconfig, no, esconfig here. here. So cannot resolve components layout header. Okay, let's add the one that we had before here, that if we have something like this, it will go there. Now cannot resolve layout header. Let's refresh. Let's also restart everything here. Okay, we have an error again. Caching failed. I'm going to remove those old and I'm going to put the as it was before, so we will not have this weird error here. Can't resolve components layout header. Components layout header cannot import. Let's remove even those because those didn't help anything. Okay, so I found what is the problem, and actually during restarting my environment, what happened was that Next.js added this file tailwind, not tailwind, tsconfig.json. And as you can see, here we have a compiler options, but it doesn't have those paths that we have inside compiler options in JSConfig. And to fix it, those import problems for those paths that starts with @, we just need to copy those paths from compiler options from JSConfig, and we need to go to tsconfig, and here inside compiler options we just add those paths here, and now everything just works. So we can most likely also go to register route, and here for this user import we can simplify this with models user as it should be. Right, so now let's go back to our user, and let's see, we have this hashed password, and we were about to fix that. We can see some progress. So let's go to register route, and not here, register page, sorry. And here, let's see, we have this creating user that is false by default, but when we create a user, we set it to true, and then if it's created, we set back to false. And we should disable those inputs. Let's see how they look like. So I will just set it to true. As you can see, now those are blocked, read only. So I'm going to change styling a little bit. Let's go to globals, and here for disabled, I'm going to make them a little bit maybe brighter. Let's do 200, maybe like 500. That's too dark. 300 will be enough. And let's see now for the button, maybe let's do the same button, submit, but that is disabled. If it's disabled or disabled here, I want to apply classes that will say cursor, let's see, cursor, not default, grab, help, move, cursor. Let's see, do we have disabled? No. Stop? No. Let's see, what else do we have? Wait, progress, pointer. We have cursor not allowed. This is something I want to also add to our blocked or disabled inputs. So let's add it here. And now, as you can see, we have this different cursor. Now for this submit button, let's also add change the color. So let's do maybe background red 400. Yeah, so we know it's disabled. And now let's put back this that it's not disabled. Let's change this to false. And now let's try to set this user created to true. And now here we have register. Here we have register. Here we have the form. And I want to change that is, or maybe not is, let's see, user created. Then I want to add the div with some class names like padding or maybe margin from the top and the bottom of 4. And I want to add a text saying user created. Now you can log in. All right, so now we have this text user created. Now you can log in. Let's make it centered, text center. and user created. Now you can log in, and let's change this login to a link. So let's put a link here to /login and login. I want to add arrows here. Now you can log in. Yeah, it's a link. I would like to add like class names here. Underline. Now you can log in. Yes, I also want to add a space here. Now you can yes, and maybe a break line here. User created. Now you can log in. Yeah, so let's now set it to false. And now let's check if this will work. Let's see. Handle form submit. First we set it to true for creating user. Then we create the user, and then we set creating user to false. And we also need to set user created to true because it's complete. So now let's do test, I don't know, 11 at example.com, and let's do test 11, or yeah, register user created. Now we can log in. So that works really nice. I'm going to remove all of my users now to clear the database because we have like 20 users now. I'm going to create a new one, test at example.com, and test here. Let's hit register. Let's see what happens if I click register again. We get errors, and we get errors even for the first user. So let's see what's the problem. bcrypt is not defined. Let's see inside our register route. No, not here. I think it's inside models user. bcrypt not defined. Okay, I don't know. I probably commented this thing. Let's try again. Let's register this user, and let's see. Register 500. Let's see what's the problem. bcrypt is not defined. Maybe I need to restart this. bcrypt is not defined. Now it should be fine. Module is not installed. All right, now let's try again. Register, pending, and we get 200. So now it works. Now I want to see what happens if I click again register. It shouldn't register a new user with the same credentials here, right? Because this one already exists. But let's see what will happen. I will clear everything. Register. We just get 500 error. And yeah, we just get an error and nothing happens. So let's go to our register page and let's see. Handle form submit. We probably need to add a try catch here. Try. Let's try to do all of this, and catch. We catch an error, and then with this error, we just want to notify our UI that we have an error. So let's do error and set error equals use state, and default will be false. And here let's just do set error to true, and here maybe underneath let's add an if error. If we have an error, let's do end, and let's do, well, the same thing that we did here, but no links. It will just say error and break line. Please try again later. Right. So maybe error, an error has occurred with double R. Please try again later. So now let's see if I click register again. Well, we just get an error here. Nothing happens. Let's refresh. Let's do test at example.com and test, and nothing happened. Let's try again. Test at example.com, test. Let's hit register. User created. Okay, that's not good. It says user created, but it gets 500 error. Let's see why. Let's see here. Looks like we shouldn't do try catch here, but instead we should do, let's see, error, an error has occurred. Let's try to get rid of this catch and try. Whoops. And no try. Let's put this back. And instead of doing a wait here, I will do then, and maybe we can leave this await, but I will grab the response. Const response equals this, and let's console log our response. Right, so now if I click register, we get a response, and it has OK false. So we can do something like this. If response okay. If response is not okay, then set error to true and creating user false, regardless if we have error or not. User created true, no, only if it's okay. If response okay, then user created, and set error only if response is not okay. We could simplify this to first, if it's okay, then we say it's created, otherwise, so else, set error to true. Right, now let's see. Let me copy this and I will refresh. Let's do test register. An error has occurred. Please try again later. Let's try with test 1 and test 1. Register. Well, now it says both user created. Now we can log in and an error has occurred. And this is because we need to set error to false before we send a request. We need to reset this. Right, so now if I click register, and we still have both because we also need to have set user created to false on the beginning because we want to reset everything. Register, error occurred. Let's test with test 2, register, and now everything works and we can go to login page. All right, so now this works. We can register with credentials. Let's check our database. For our users, we have hashed passwords here, as you can see. So that is good. We don't want to have clear passwords or raw text passwords. So that is good. And now we just need to fix login. So when I click here, we will see a login page. And we need to fix the login with provider. Here, maybe underneath, we can also have text like already have an account or already a member, click here to login. So inside this register page, we can have under this button a div that will say existing account and then a link that will say login here, and it will go to /login. Yeah, something like this, but of course we want to have some class names here like text center and what else, some margin, right? Margin on the top and the bottom of 4, and for the link we want to have an underline or something, class name, underline, and for the texts we want to make them gray 500, and we want to have space here, so I'm going to add a space like this. Okay, and login here, I will add this Raquo arrows, and this looks nice. Existing account, login here. This looks fine. Maybe we could add a border on the top of this div, so we have like a line here. That is nice, but let's also add padding top of 4, so we'll have some spacing, and that looks nice. The only downside is that we have this footer that is really close, but that's okay. That's okay for now. We can fix this styling later. So now we need to have a login page, and we need to fix that we can log in with our users that we created with those credentials, and so we can also log in with Google here. You can also add more providers if you want. All right, so now let's fix the login page, shall we? So let's click here, login, or if we click here, we will have the same problem. We don't have a login page. And then when we have a login page, we need to fix that we can log in with those users with those passwords, right? So let me see. We have an API here, app, we have a register. We need also have to have a login directory here inside our app for login page. And inside we just put the page.js, export default function, and let's name it login page. For all of the pages, I try to put the name like the path name and then the page. Now inside this return, let's maybe check what we have for the register. For the register page, page here, and we have this as a section. Okay, let's go to login page. Let's do section HTML like this section. Now we need an h1. Let's copy this h1 from our register. I will just copy this and I will put this thing here. But instead of register, I will have login. Right, now let's see. Here we have login and we have a section. Even for this section, we should have margin top of 8, that we have same thing for register. So it's the margin top of 8. All right, so now we need almost exactly the same for that we have for register. So we need the email, password, and then the button, and then our login with provider, login with Google, and then almost the same thing, existing account, login here. Right, so let's do this. Underneath here, let's do a form, no action for now. We just need to have input. Well, we can just copy those inputs from register page. Let's see. I will grab those inputs like this. And now let's go to login page and let's paste those inputs. We don't have state for email and password, so let's copy this as well. So let me see, email and password state. Let's go to login page. Let's put it here. For login page, we also need to use client here on the top, because now it's a client component. Let's see, login, creating user is not defined. We don't have it, so let's put here and here false for now. We don't want to block anything. Now we have this super long, so I'm going to add the class names on this form to make it max width of XS, and let's make it center with MX Auto like this. Now we need a button that will be a type of submit, and it will say login. So now we have almost the same thing that we have on register, but well, it's login, right? We also need this or login with provider. So underneath, I think I will just copy from the register page. Let's see, or login with provider, and then the button to login with Google. So let's paste it here, and now let's see login page. Yeah, it works. Let's see register. And I think that we should even copy this part, but change to, if we are on the login page, don't have an account register here or something like this. Or maybe not. Let's keep it like this for now. We did some copy pasting here and I don't really like it. So we will clean it, both register and login page, in a minute. First, I would like to fix the on submit on this form on submit. We will create a function handle form submit. I will put it here, function handle form submit, and we get an event here that we need to do prevent default. And then if we want to log in, first let's fix that we can log in with credentials, right? So let's do fetch request that will go to /API/login, and this will be an async function. So let's add a wait, and here let's add the body, and the body will be JSON stringify for object of email, email and password, right? We also need to have headers to be content type. I think we need to have it. I always try to add it if it's not Axios we are using, and we are using instead our default fetch. And what else do we need here? Method. Method will be post. All right, and that should be it. And let's grab a response here. And as you remember, inside the response, we have a field that is called OK, and we can do if response.ok, and then, and if it's not OK, then something else. this will work. We have it this way inside our register page. Another thing that we can do is to actually not get all of the response. We can grab only the OK part, and then we can do just if OK like this. I think it was called OK. Let's just check inside our register page and more to the top. Yes, it's a response OK. So that is correct. So now let's see, inside this we want to have a state to block our form, right? So for now it's disabled false on all of the inputs, and let's also add it to the button false. Let's add a state that will disable all of it. Let's call it maybe login in progress, set login in progress. Default will be of course false. And on the beginning, we will do set login in progress to true. And after everything is done, we will do set login in progress to false. Doesn't matter if it's okay or not. We will do set login in progress to false. So now let's do something like this. Instead of this false here, here, and here for disabled, we will do login in progress. So now if I click here, it changes to the dark gray, the colors of those inputs. As I don't know if you can see, because it takes like just a few milliseconds to try to log in. All right, but now let's see, we have this. This disabled login in progress should be actually on this button and not on the login with Google. Now let's see. Yeah. Now let's see. We need to fix this endpoint, right? So we can know if those credentials are okay and we can log in with them. So as you remember, inside our API auth, we had those copy-pasted stuff from NextAuth. Here we have credentials, and we have this authorize function that we can use. Let's get rid of this comment, and we don't need to do anything from here. We just need to do something like let's maybe do console log, and let's console log our credentials. Is it this credentials? No, it should be fine with just only credentials. Right, and we don't need this user, and we are just going to return null for now. So I just want to see if something will happen, but of course we need to change this fetch, as you can see here, and instead let me see how we should go with those credentials provider documentation. I think we just need to send the request there. So let me see here. Let's try to do, instead of on submit, let's do action, and let's go to /API. Here let's also add the method of post and action API. Let's see where it should go. API auth. And now let's see. We will also add here name to be email, and here we will also add a name to be password. And let's see if this will work. If I do test at example.com and test, let's open here our console, and let's see what will happen if I click login. So we have some spinning, so something is working. I don't know what actually is going on here. I think we shouldn't go there. We shouldn't go to this API auth. I think that instead we should do something like this. On submit, let's put back our handle form submit function, and here instead of doing this fetch, we will not create this endpoint ourselves, and instead we will use NextAuth, right? So let's get rid of this, and here we want to do sign in, and the provider will be credentials. All right, and let's do await here, and let's see what will happen if I hit login now. Well, as you can see, something happened. We get a small warning, NextAuth URL and no secret. So let's add those to our .env file. So let's do next, how is it called? NextAuth URL. So let's do NextAuth URL equals, and let's do HTTP localhost 3000. Yes, and now let's also set our secret, maybe here, secret, and some random stuff here. And now let's use this secret inside our route for this next out. So here they also want to have a secret that we are going to grab from process environment secret that we have inside our .env file. Right, so this worked here, and now let's see. We have this console log. I don't know if it showed anything. Let's try again here. I will do, whoops, let's refresh, test at example.com and test. And now let's see, I will open console here, and let's hit login, and looks like nothing happened here. It just redirected us to this API auth page, and this is not something we want instead. Instead, I would like to fix this authorize functionality. Right, so let's maybe see if I restart my environment, if this will help. Okay, so now everything is running, and I want to check if I will get this console log by any chance. Test at example.com. Let's do test. Let's do login, and nothing happened. Let's see, we didn't have any console log here, and no console logs here. Let's see what we have for the network. I'm going to put test example.com test, and let's clear the network, login, and we get redirected now. Let's see, no console logs here, providers. Let's see in the response if we get anything useful. No, we don't. Let's see, do we miss anything? We have name credentials. Let's also add ID credentials. All right, and now for our login page, let's see, maybe let's do credentials with lowercase c, because I think it should be ID. All right, and now let's do test at example.com and test, and I will copy this just in case. And now we have a console log of credentials. So as you can see, we get the callback URL, but this is not something I like, because I don't want to have email and password here. Instead, I would like to send it as extra data. So here we can probably do this with email and password, yes. And now let's try again, test, login. And now, as you can see, we have both email and password here. So let's go back to our authorize function, and from the credentials we can grab email and the password from credentials, like this, because we have email and password here inside. And now what we want to do, return null if we couldn't log in, and we want to return user if email and password is correct. So first we want to grab the user, but before we will do this, we need to connect to the database, right? So let's do mongoose. We need to import mongoose here. No, it's imported now. Mongoose connect here, process.env.mongo URL. All right, and now let's do mongoose, not mongoose. Now we can grab our user. So let's do const user equals user. Let's see, we need to import our user. I cannot find the user. Let's import it manually here, import user from, and now let's do like this, not components, models, and user. And now let's do user. We want to find one where email is email. And if we have a user and the password is okay, maybe let's just do like this. If we have a user, then we want to compare password. So let's do maybe here inside, let's do bcrypt. There's a function called compare. Let's see, maybe inside the documentation, let's do search for compare sync. Yeah, there's a function called compare sync. So let's run this. compare sync, and our password that we get from the credentials sent, and the other password is from our user from the database. Password, like this, password, and then we know if the password is okay. So maybe we can do something like this: password okay equals this. It's not an if anymore, so we can just do like this. And we will also add if we have a user and backcrypt compare. All right, so now we know if we have a user and if the password is okay. And so we also need to have a wait here because we are finding user from the database. Now, if password okay, then we want to return our user. All right, and now let's see. We are grabbing credentials we are grabbing email from credentials. Looks like they are saying that email doesn't exist or it's optional. So instead grabbing those like this, I'll do email equals credentials email with this question mark in case if it's empty. And I also need the password. Password equals credentials password. All right, still we have an issue with email, and they say it's only username and password here inside, but they are wrong because we get email as well. And I think this is partially because this is the only TypeScript file we have. Let's change this to JavaScript, and now we don't have this problem anymore. And let's try to log in. Let's do our test example.com and test. Let's try to log in, and we have an error. Let's see what happened. Does not contain default export. All right, so let's go to here and export const user. Yeah, so we need to import it different way. We need to import it like this. Right, now let's try again. Test login, still error. Let's see. User does not contain default export. Let's see here. It looks so fine for me. Let's maybe do yarn dev again here to restart everything. And now let's see. I would do test login, and we get 4.1. Here I don't see anything. Maybe let's do console log of the password okay, and we'll put this as an object so we can see what's inside. And here we have a typo. It should be password. And now let's see, test, and let's see, we get password test. I wanted password okay instead. Let's see. Here I want to put test, and let's do login. Password okay, true. So it looks like it works. So now, instead of having this login and register here, because here right now we are logged in, I don't need this password okay. Let's get rid of this. And let's go to our header. And instead of this login and register, we want to use state, right? We want to use session here, sorry. So let's use session equals use session from next auth. And now I'm going to put use client here, and let's print our session with console log inside the browser. Let's see what do we have here. Use session must be wrapped inside session provider. All right, so we don't have this, and we need to have it inside our app. So how can we fix it? Well, we need to go to our layout, and we need to have a session provider. Let's try to just put it here inside main. Let's do session provider. Let's put it like this, and here let's close it after the footer, and let's see if this will fix this. React context is unavailable in server components. All right, so it sounds like we cannot put our session provider here. So what I'm going to do is I will remove this session provider from here. Maybe let's try to make this will not work, to make it client component for the whole layout. So I will get rid of this session providers, and I'm going to create a component called app context. Let's do app context.js, and I'm going to create a hook called export function called let's say app provider. Yeah, and here I'm going to put our session provider, and all the children will go here inside children. And I'm going to mark this as client component. And now let's go back to our layout, and now let's do app provider like this. The closing will go here, and now it works, and we see some session data that we are authenticated, and we see the information about the user. So that is cool, right? So let's go to our header, and as you can see, we have this status that is authenticated. So instead of grabbing whole session, let's just grab status from session status. And now here we have this login and register navigation. Let's do something like this. Here inside, if status equals authenticated, then if I'm unauthenticated, I want to have a logout button. So let's I want to copy this with the styling. So I'm going to copy the link with all this primary blah, 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 and it will say logout. And I want to also do if status is not authenticated, then I want to do those two, but because we have two elements here, I need to put React fragment, so that's why this empty HTML tag. So now we have logout, and this logout doesn't work, so let's fix it. Instead of this link register, I'm going to change this to a button. So let's see now. Yeah, and we have class names here, but I also need on click on this one. And I will just put this as a sign out inline function, and this should do the work. So now we are logged in, and if I click this logout, I'm logged out. And now I need to log in again. So let's do test at example.com and test. I try to use wrong credentials. If I do test1, it will go here. All right. So let's do test at example.com and test. If I click login, I'm logged in. So that is nice. Maybe we should be redirected to another page, but we can put it as an extra param to redirect, but we will fix it in a moment. We are logged in, and we have this logout button. We have also here status loading, status authenticated, and let's see, if I log out, the status is unauthenticated. So here, to see the login, the status needs to be unauthenticated. So on the beginning, I will not see anything if it's loading. So that is nice, and now let's see, this looks fine. The only problem is this button is weird, so let's fix this one. So let's go to our hero, I think, and here we have this button, learn more, and I don't want this border, so let's do border 0. It's the default border that we got. Yeah, I think that is better. I also need to have items center here, and now I think it's fine. Now same for this button. Looks like we need to add flex and let's see, flex and justify center here, so it will be centered. Yes, I think now it's better. Right, we can register and we can log in with credentials, and this works, right? And we can log out. Now it would be nice to fix this login with Google. Before we will do this, let me just refresh the database. I want to see how it looks like. Yeah, we have just few users here. All right, so now let's add the Google provider. So for this, I need to go to Google Cloud Console, and I'm going to create a new project. So let's do a new project, and let's do food ordering. Let's create this project. Now let's select this project, food ordering, and we need to create our OAuth client. So let's search here, OAuth client, OAuth client consent screen. Yes, let's start with this. External, create, and app name food ordering app, and here my email. And what else do we need? Email again, save and continue. All right, this works. Now let's go to credentials, and let's create credentials, OAuth client ID, application type web application, and here we have those authorized redirect URLs. If we go to let's see, providers, and we go to, let's see, Google, you can see that for authorized redirect URLs we need to put this for localhost, and then when you deploy it you need to also change it to your domain and add another one. So I'm going to add this for localhost. Let's put this one and let's hit create. Now it's created. We have client ID and the client secret. So I'm going to add it to my .env file. Let's do Google client ID and Google client secret. So first the client ID, let's put it here. Client secret, let's put it here. And now let's see how we can add Google provider. We just grab it like this. Import Google provider. So let's go to our API auth route here, and let's grab Google provider, and let's put Google provider like this. Here inside providers, Google provider, Google client ID, Google client secret. Yes, this looks fine. And now let's go to our, for example, login page, and we have this login with Google. To fix it, I'm going to add on click here, but I'll put this into separate line, and this will just run this sign in function with provider Google. All right, so now let's see login. If I click here, sign in failed, and check the details provided. Okay, something went wrong. Let's refresh. Let's try again. Maybe I will restart the environment just in case. Login with Google, and now it works. I will select my account and I'm logged in. As you can see, now I have this logout button, so I'm actually logged in. I think maybe I can add here a redirect URL here. So I don't want to go to the login page after I logged in. I want to go to the start page. Let's try again. Login with Google. Let's try again, refresh, login with Google. Now something went wrong. Let's restart everything here. Refresh, login with Google. And I'm going to log in with my Gmail, and the redirect didn't really work. This didn't work. Let's see. We have also callback URL. Let's try this one. If I log out, let's maybe try to log in with credentials this time, but we also need to add this callback URL to our credentials login. So let's do callback URL and start page. Test at example.com and test here. Let's do login, and we are on the home page and we are logged in. So that is really nice. All right, so this worked. Now the next thing, we can log in and with Google, and we can log out. And here on the register page, we also need to add this function here for login with Google. So let's go to register page, and we have this login with Google. So I'm going to put this on click here. And now the problem is that we need to put sessions to our database, because I think that those small problems we have that we cannot log in is actually because we don't have session inside database. To fix it, I'm going to use here documentation, and we have providers. It's not providers, we need to have adapters here, and I think this is all documentation. I will go to this page. Let's go to providers, not providers, adapters, sorry, adapters, and not DynamoDB. We need to have, this is the latest page. Okay, let's go to get started, adapters, and here we have MongoDB adapter. So we need to yarn add this. Let's do here in a new tab, yarn add this, and now we need to create this file, and let's create this. Let's create this inside, let's see, I'm going to put a new directory here called libs, and inside I will do a file called Mongo connect.js, and I will put this. This is TypeScript, so I'm going to just remove those typings here, and here, as you can see, we have MongoDB URI. For us, it's Mongo URL instead, so I'm going to change this. And this looks fine, so I'm going just to save it. And now we use adapters inside the config like this. So let's go here, API, auth, route, and let's see, we just do adapter, and now let's do Mongo, let's see, MongoDB adapter. Let's import this first, MongoDB adapter, and now let's use it like this. Adapter, MongoDB adapter. We have this client promise that we need to import as well, and so let's try to auto import this. Yes, I think this worked. Let's see. Yes, it imported from our libs, so this works fine. Now let's see if we will have session if we log in with Google. Let's try. Yes, and now let's go to our database, and we have sessions here. So as you can see, I have an active session. Let's try to log out, log in with Google. Sign in failed, so something went wrong. Let's see here. I don't see any errors. What is wrong? Sign in failed. Check your details provided below. Login with Google. Well, that's odd. Let's go to the login page and let's see what's the problem. Login page, sign in Google. Maybe let's remove this callback URL and let's try login with Google. Sign in failed. Check the credentials you provided. But if I click here, it will work. And this is not the flow I would like to have. So we need to fix this. Let's do logout and let's try again. I will hit. Let's maybe try on the register page, login with Google. Okay, it works on the register page. That is weird. Let's try again. Register. Okay, so it works on the register page, but not on the login page. Login with Google. No, it doesn't work. On the register page, it works. So let's see what's the difference. So on the login page, we have this on-click sign in with Google, and it's a client component. And maybe I also need to add the type of the button here, because otherwise it will send this form. It will trigger this form submit. So maybe that's the problem. Let's go back to login and let's try login. Yeah, and now it works. So that was the problem. We are sending this form. I can put back this URL, callback URL to our home page after we are logged in. So let's try again. Login with Google, my account, and we should go to the home page. Yes, that's cool. Now, what I want to fix is, you probably seen that this page for login and for the register is very similar. So I can open here login register, and those are pretty much the same. And it would be nice to fix some stuff and to, I don't know, to make it simplified. Or maybe we can fix it later. Let's see here what is the problem, because we have some errors. No, there are no errors here. Right, so now we can register and log in, and our authentication works. So this is nice. And the next thing will be actually, so we can, instead of going to the home page, we can go to our profile page and we can edit information about our profile, like address, update name, and stuff like this. Let's also check our database for users. As you can see, we have this testexample.com user, and here is my user that I used to log in when I logged in with Google. So this is my Gmail here, and yeah, so we have several users now. So next step will be to have some kind of user panel so we can update profile information. All right, so now it would be nice to have maybe here a profile link. So maybe your email or something like this, and then when you click on it, you will go to your profile page. So first, let's go to our header. So inside components layout, we have a header. And here we have, if it's authenticated, we have this logout button, but I also want to add a link to profile. And because we have one element here for button, we will need to have a React fragment, because now we want to have two elements. And now here, let's just put a link to, let's see, it will say profile for now. Let's see. Yeah, we need to have a link, so let's do /profile, and now let's see, now we have profile, but maybe it would be nice to have a name of the user, right? So we have a session here, and we are console logging it. So let's see, what do we have inside our session? As you can see, we have some data, and inside data we have user, and then we have email. And I think sometimes we also have name if you log in with Google. Here we have name. So we have email and name. So let's do something like this. Let's define here username, and maybe not username as a username, but user's name. So let's do something like this. First, we want to grab user data. So user inside data. So let's do const user data equals session, and then we need to go inside session. We need to go to data, and then user, right? Session data user, session data user. All right. And now inside the user data, we want to grab name. Let's see. Yes, it's a name. But if the name is not inside the object, I want to grab email instead. So let's do, or let's do session, not here, sorry, here, or user data dot email. Right, and now we can use username instead of our profile. So here I will do username like this, and now let's see, let me refresh. We have an error because we are trying to access user, but the data is undefined. So I guess the problem is that on the beginning, when we render this at the first time, the session is empty, and then we find the information in the database, and then the use session is refreshing the session information here. So let's do something like this. I will add question marks here in case this information is empty. Now let's see, I will refresh, and let's see, it looks like everything is empty. I don't even see the logout button, so something is wrong. Let's see, we are authenticated, but I don't see anything. So let's see what happened, and it looks like I have just removed the status by accident. So let's do status from session status. All right, and now let's see. Yeah, so now I have my name here, as you can see. It's in 2 lines. I would like to have it only in 1 line. or I would like to just grab the first name. So let's do something like this. We have this username here. What I want to do is I will change this to let, so we can change the content of it. And now let's check if username, if the string includes a space, then I want to username to be only the first part. So I want to do username and not user data, username. I want to split using space, and I want to only the first part. So now we have only David here. I will remove this console log. We don't need this. And now let's see, include is undefined. All right, so this doesn't work because this username can be null or undefined. So let's first check if we have a username, and username includes space. So now we have only David here. We can add something like hello colon. If we want hello colon, and we have something like this. I would like to put this in one line. So let's see, I will put this here, and let me add some class names, and let's see, white space, no wrap, and now we have this in one line. So I click to this and it goes to profile, but as you can see, we get 4 because we don't have a route for this. Let me close API register and login here, and I'm going to do new directory inside app, and let's create a profile. And inside we just need to do new file and page.js. And inside this page.js, export default function, and let's call this one profile page. And inside we just need to do, well, let's maybe start with a section like this, and h1 that will say profile, right? And we have something like this. So there is something like, I would like to have this h1 that we have. Let me log out, log in here. I would like to have this h1. So I will go to my login page, and let me see, I want to have this, but with profile inside this, but it will say profile. And yeah, now the problem is that we can actually go there to profile page, and even if we are not logged in, so that is not good, right? First I will add some margin from the top. Let's do margin top of 4 or maybe 8. Let's see how big is it on our login page. It's 8. Okay, so let's do the same. We have profile page, and well, here I would like to do that. If you are not logged in, you shouldn't see this page. You should be redirected to the login page. So I'm going to use session. So let's do session equals use session. Yes, and let's do console log of our session. And now let's see, what do we have here? Well, we have an issue. React context is not available in server components. Right, so let's make it a client component. Use client. And now let's see. We have inside our session information, status loading, and then status unauthenticated. So what I want to do, if before we will return this h1 and so on, first I want to check if status, so let's grab the status const, we can grab it maybe like this time, session, status from session, and I want to check that if status is loading, then I want to return here loading. Yes. And then also if status is unauthenticated, we want to redirect. We don't want to return this HTML, we want to redirect. So how can we do this? I think there is a redirect function that we can use from next. Let's try redirect to /login. Yes, and now let's see if I save. Application error or a client side exception, blah blah blah. So we cannot redirect like this, I think. Let's maybe see if I return this redirect. Did it work? Does it work? Yes, then it works. So let me go to home, and if I go to /profile, it redirects me to the login page. So this works now. Right, so let me remove this, and now here we are authenticated, and now what else do we want to do? Let's maybe first log in with my Google account so we can access this page. Let's go to this profile, and what do we want to have here? Well, we want to have addresses, or one address, and we want to have well, something that you can edit your profile. So we can edit your name and maybe your image, profile image, right? So let's fix it. So we need to have some kind of form here, so you can edit your image and name, and then maybe on the right side you will have addresses, or maybe we can do everything in the middle, profile picture, name, and then addresses underneath. Maybe that will look better. So let's put a form, and inside this form I will remove this action and I will add class names, so we can do max width of XS and MX auto, so it will be centered. And inside this form, what do we want to do? We want to have an let me add the border for this form so we will see how it looks like. Okay, so it ends here. Now I want to put the image on the left side and then name on the right side, something like this. So let me put a div, and this will be our first row of the form. And well, on the left side I want to have an upload for image. So sometimes we will have image information inside session, and it comes from the user information from the database. So I want to display it somehow here. Let me maybe first do console log on the session, console log on a session, so we can see where it is inside. Session, data, user, and we have image here. So that is nice. So let's grab this image. Let's do const user image equals, and then let's do session. Then we need to go to data, then we go to user, and then we go to image. And now let's here is the first row, with the div. Let's put an image, but let's put it as an image from next image, and the source will be user image. And I will put here width will be, let's maybe do 64, and the height will be the same because it should be a square. And alternative text, let's add it as well as avatar. Right, now let's see, loading, and we have some error here saying that hostname, this Google user content is not configured under your next config. See here for more info. Let's open this on a new tab. The thing is that if you add images to your app, to your next app from different host names, you need to add those host names. So let's go to next config, and as you can see, we need to add images, remote patterns here. So let's do this. Next config, images, and then inside images, remote patterns. All right, and remote patterns is an array, not an object. So let's do an array, and inside this array I want to add, well, something like this. Let's put it here, and I want to put host name. Maybe we can skip the path name and port. And the only thing I want to add here is, well, this host name, googleusercontent.com. Let's try. googleusercontent.com, and let's see if this will help if I reload. Loading, and no. Let's see if it helps if I add this subdomain here. Let's save it, and if I reload, loading, and I have my image. I don't want to have it like this. I would like to add like here any subdomain. So let's see if this will work. Yeah, it works. So let's have it like this, and let's go to back to our profile page, and I would like to fix it a little bit. So first we have this div that will be first row, and I want this to be some things will be on the left side like this image, and other like an input for the name will be on the right side. So let's add the placeholder with first and last name, something like this. And now I want this first div to be on the left and second on the right side. So let's do class name flex, and let's see, yeah, that's good. Now I will add a gap of 2, that is nice. Now let's see why this input doesn't take the whole space. Let's see, well, because the second div should grow the right side. Let's add a grow on the right side. Yes, now it goes all the way to the right side. And now I think I can remove the border from the form. So let's remove this, and now it looks like this. So we have this flex gap 2. Let's add items center here, so it will be centered, the image and the input here. Now maybe we can do the image a little bit bigger, and maybe we can make this form a little bit wider. So let's do medium on this form. Yeah, I think that is better. And now the image can be a little bit bigger, so let's do maybe I don't know, 120, 125. I don't know. Yeah, this looks nice. This looks nice. Maybe this is too big. Let's do, I don't know, 80 pixels. Yes, and under first and last name I want to have a button to save it. So underneath I want to have a button of type will be submit, and it will be save. Yeah, something like this. Maybe it's too big, I don't know. I would like to have this image in the some classes here. So for this image, let me try to add some class names. Let's do rounded medium, or maybe large. Let's see if this will work. Yes, it does. And now I would also like to add a div above, so we will have some padding. I will put this image into this div, and for this div I will add some background of gray 300 and some padding of 4. Now let's see, yeah, something like this, but maybe a smaller padding, and also rounded here. So I want to do here rounded large and smaller padding like 2. Yeah, this looks nice. And now here under the photo I would like to have a button to change avatar. So under this image I will have a button of type button change avatar. Yeah, something like this. And we have this button here. It's not visible because I think the color is the same. Let's see if I change this gray to 800. Yeah, then we have some outline here, so it's a little bit better. Let's see if I change to 100. Yeah, then we have something like this. Well, I don't know what would work best here, but maybe we can get rid of this background gray, and we can increase the gap here to maybe 4, so we will have more separation. Yeah, now for the, I don't want the image, I would like to have the image all the way to the right, so it will be as big as the button. So let me see, instead of doing width and height, I will do, let's see, on no layout, and layout will be, I don't remember, let's go to hero. I don't remember how to do the image layout fill. Okay, layout will be fill, and the div above needs to be relative. Let's do it like this, and now let's see, well, almost. Let's put another div with class name relative just for the image, relative just for the image, and let's put it here. Now let's see, I don't see the image. Let's add object fit contain, I think it should be, still no image. Let's see inside here, object fit contain layout fill. I think this is because let's see, our div needs to have some have here, otherwise nothing will be shown. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. Let's change the let's add some have on this one to 24. I don't know if this will change anything. Yes, it does. But the problem is here. I would like the image to take the whole width. So let me try to do width have full and width full. Now let's see. Nothing is here. Let me see. We have 100%, 100%, but we have no have here on this div. So that's why. If we would add a have here of like 100 pixels, then we will see this. But otherwise, well, we need to tell what the have will be. And I don't want to define have. I want the have to be automatic. So, well, let's get rid of this div that we have as a parent of the image. And I don't want to have this object fit contain, and I don't want to have this layout fill. Instead, I will do something like this. I will change the width to be 0 and the have to be 0. And what else I will do is that I will add here on the classes on the image, the width to be full and the have to be full. Now let's see, and now we have something like this. It looks really weird, and looks like it's something wrong with, because we did this 0 and 0 here. Let's see if we do maybe like 250 to 350, 250 here and 250 here. Okay, now we have something. As you can see, the image is smaller than 250 in width and have, but we added those classes here, width full and have full, and it means it will take 100%. It's a little too big because well, it's not that sharp as it should be. Let's see. Yeah, it's this big, and we have stretched this a little bit. And the image is 96 pixels, and we stretched this to 153. So maybe we can make this smaller, but to make it smaller, we need to change this button to maybe something like edit, and then it will be smaller. All right, and I would like to add a small margin bottom of 4 for this between this and this. Maybe 4 is too much. Let's do just 2 so we can edit the avatar. Maybe that's still too big. Let's do 1. Yeah, that's good. And now let's see. We have here for the name, and maybe I can add another input that is disabled just for the email, so you can see your email. So input type email, and the value will not be editable. So let's do just user session data user email, session data user email, like this. And you can see your email. You cannot edit this because we don't have any change, but I will also add here disabled to true, so it's disabled. We could maybe style this disabled field a little bit more. So let's go to global CSS, and as you can see, for disabled we are doing darker gray. Let's maybe do lighter gray like this with no border. So let's do border and 0, so we have something like this. But even for the text, I would like this to be lighter, not the dark. Let's do text gray, and let's do maybe something like 500. So we have something like this, maybe even lighter for the text. Let's do 300. And we have something like this, and well, it's barely visible, so I need to add more styling to this. Let's make it a little darker, like 300, but the text will be like 500 and no border. So we have something similar that we had before, and I think this looks best. So we see that this is disabled. And if you put a text here, it's black, so it's clearly visible that you can change stuff here but not here. Right, I think this will work. So we have this first and last name here, but it should be filled with the state. So let's go back to profile page. And if we want to have something editable here, we need to have state for this. So let's call this username and set username equals use session is state and from React, and here the default will actually come from session. Let's do session and then data and then user and then name or empty string. And I will add the question marks here in case anything of this is undefined. Right, so first and last name, let's put username into this input. Here we have this input. I'm going to put here value equals username, and let's add on change. Let's do event, and with this event, let's do set username, event target value. And now we have my name here, and I can change it and add stuff into it. So this works. Now I can edit the input, but now I should be able to save it, right? So when I click save on this button, we will trigger submission on this form. One thing I don't like is it looks like we have two forms in one form element. We have one form element that takes actually two forms. The one is this, and the second is this. So, well, to fix it, I will change this form to just a div, and then I will put only those stuff into a form. So it looks like it's this div that grows. It's the right side. I'm going to change it to a form element, and I'm going to add on submit. And for this on submit, I will have a function called handle. No, not handle form submit, because we will have several forms here. Instead, I would like to have something like handle profile update. Handle profile info update, something like this. Now we need to define this function. Let's see, somewhere here above. So let's do function handle profile info update, and as always we get an event and we want to run prevent default on it. And then let's send, not Axios, let's send fetch request to /API/profile. Why not? And it will be a method of post. We want to send headers, and those headers will have content type application JSON. And what else do we need here? We need body, and well, the body will be JSON stringify, and we want to send only our username, because this is the only thing we are updating here. Maybe not as username, let's send it as a name. So name will be username. All right, and I think that will be it. And this is an fetch is async function, so I'm going to add async and await here. Await, no equals here. Let's do response equals await, and now we can do something like this. We need to have this endpoint for a post, but because this is an update for our information, I will change this to put. And now let's create this endpoint inside our API. So let's go to API and let's do new directory, and let's do profile. Right, and inside we need to put route.js, route.js. And now export function put, and export it will be async function. First and foremost, we need to do connect to our database. So we can do connect, but we want to use Mongoose. So let's do Mongoose. Let's import Mongoose. Let's do connect. And here we want to just do process env mongo URL. Okay, we are connected to the database. What do we want to do now? We want to grab the data. So let's do const data equals, we need to run await here, because when we grab request JSON, it will, this is async function. I think it's request JSON. Let me just double check inside register. Yes, it's request JSON. All right, so we are grabbing data, and then what do we want to do? We want to first check if data as a name. If data, or maybe you can check it other way. If name in data, not date, data, then we want to update the user name. And so let's do this. So to update username, we want to first grab the user, and we want to grab the currently logged in user. So let's do this. I will do this here. So const user equals await get server session. This is what I want to use, and it will not be user, it will be session, right? And here we need to put our auth options. And our auth options are actually defined here. Here we have, this is an object of our auth options. I'm going to cut them from here, and I'm going to define them here above. So the const auth options equals this, all right? And then I will put them back here, auth options, but I'm going to also export, I'm going to also export them as a constant. So we can import it here inside our profile route auth options. Let's import it. And now we have our import here. All right, auth options, we have it here, and we have session. Maybe let's do console log of the session so we can see what's inside. Here we don't do anything yet, and I will end this with just response JSON with true, so the route will work. Now let's see what happens here inside network. I will hit save, and we are sending this put, and we get 200. Let's see, we get true here. Let's see in the console, we get inside session, we have user with name, email, and stuff. So because email is unique, we can grab the user information, we can grab email, and then we can see what has been sent here as a name. Let's also let's print both the session and the data that we are sending. So let's see, save. And now, as you can see, inside session we have user, inside data we have our new name that we are sending from here. So now let's update. So first we want to grab the data. So first we want to grab the user. So we know what is the email. Const email equals session user. Was it session user? Yes, session user email. And this way, maybe we can first check if we have email. Maybe no, we don't need to check it. Let's just grab our user from the database. So await, let's grab our user model, and let's find one. We want to find one by email to be email. Right, we have our user, and we want to update our user. Actually, we don't need to fetch it first. We can just directly update it using our model. So we can do user update one, and with this update one, we need to first filter, and then we want to filter by email. We want to update where this email is, the email inside this constant, and we want to update, what do we want to update? The name to be data name, like this. So if you just want to update inside users, you just do user update one, because we want to update only one row. Here is how we can find the user. We find it with email, and here the next object is what do we want to update. We want to update the data, the name to be this name. Right, so this should work. So let me just add await here because it's a database query. And let me try, if I refresh here, it should go back to, well, it's empty. It shouldn't be empty. I don't know why it's empty. Let's refresh once again. It's empty, but it shouldn't be. Let's see why it's empty. Profile page, and username should come from session data username. Let's see why it's empty. I don't know. Let's see inside the console. Do we have any console log about the session? No, we don't. Let's do console log, and let's do user, let's do session here, and let's see. We have data here, user, and we have a name. So something's wrong here because it's empty. We do session data username. So let's do session data username. Something is wrong here, and I think this is because we initiate our state only once, and the session actually changes. So to fix it, let's first let's set this username to empty, but then I will also add something like this. I will add use effect. Here we will have a function, and here we will have dependencies. Our dependency will be actually status, and I will do something like this. If status is authenticated, then I want to update our set username, and the username will come from session data username. Okay, and maybe we can change this from status to session, or we can add both session and status because both of those are dependencies. Right, and now as you can see, we have our name here, my name. Right, so let's clear this, and I want to add 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and let's save it, and let's see what happened. Let's go to network. We send a put request. It's returned true. Let's see if I refresh. Well, we get the old name, but let's see inside here. I need to log in again. Inside our database, let's browse collections. Let's go to users, and let's see, here is my name, here is my Gmail. So it looks like it didn't work. Let's see, I will clear everything. Let's hit save. We send a put request. Let's see payload. We are sending the name, but it's not updating. Let's go to profile route, and let's see if we have name inside data. Let's maybe here console log everything. Let's console log our data because it's important to know if we have a name there. And inside data we have a name. So let's see, let's do something like this. If we have name in data, so it should print true or false. Let's hit save, and we have true. So we know we get inside here. So something here inside doesn't work. Let's see how the email looks like. Let's console log the email. Let's hit save. Email looks fine. So this should work. Now let's do both email, and I want also to print this. Maybe let's check the documentation. Everything looks fine. Update, and let's put this into update field, so we will see if everything works. Let's hit save. Email is this, and update is named to David Pashko. Okay, let's add 1, 2, 3. Save. Email is this, update is this. It looks fine. Let's hit refresh to see if we have this 1, 2, 3 somewhere, or we don't. No, I don't see update. So something is wrong here. We are doing update. Let's see the result of it. Const result equals, and let's put this console log here, and I'm going to add result. Now let's see, I'm going to hit save again, and let's see, acknowledge true, modified 1, matched count 1. So it looks like it should work, right? I just don't see the result inside my database. Let's see. Yeah, and the name is not updated. Let's see if it's updated somewhere else. No, it's not. Let's see inside accounts. No, nothing here. Sessions. No. Users. No. Maybe I will just delete this user, and let's see what will happen. I will log in again, log in with Google, and let's log in with my Gmail account. Let's go here. Let's add 1, 2, 3, save, and well, it looks like it should update. Let's do refresh, and let's scroll to the bottom of users. No, my name is not updated. Let's see once again. Update 1. Oops. Update 1. Filter query. Well, the email. Let's see. The email should be my Gmail. Let's see. Email is my Gmail, and we should change the name to this. I will now try to comment this out, and I will try to do this another way. Let's do first, I'm going to grab my user, const user equals, and let's do just await user find one by my email, and then I will do user name equals data name. Then I do user save with await, and then we will see if this will work. So let's go back here. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, save, and we have an error. Let's see. Password is required. Okay, so maybe that's why it didn't update. Let's go to user and let's see. Password is required. Let's see what happens if I just remove required. Then if I hit save, password is required. Maybe I need to restart my environment. All right, now let's hit save and we get an error. Data and salt arguments required. Okay, and so something here was wrong. So it looks like this function runs post validate even if we want to save, even if we want to update the user, and we don't want to run it this way. We want to run this only when we create a user. So I think we will need to put this into register. So inside here where we create the user, I will check this here instead, and I will hash the password here. So I'm going to go back to here. Let's change this validate. I will remove this validate from the password. Let's put it like this. And now let's see here. This is for creating users. I'm going to paste this here. Instead of pass length, I will first grab this pass equals body password. And now let's see if it's wrong, then we will throw an error. But if it's okay, we want to hash it. So let's do something like this. And we don't need this post stuff here. Let's put it here. And we need to fix it because not hashed password will be just our pass from password, and then we'll have salt, and then the hashed password. So let's do const hashed password equals this, and then we want to put it into body because as you can see we are saving just the body. Body password equals hashed password. All right, and we can simplify this. We can inline it like this, and this should work. So now let's see to our profile route if this will work. Let's hit save. Put request didn't work. Something is wrong. Let's see. Data. I'm going to restart my environment to be sure that that we get an error. So it looks like now everything works after restarting the environment. So let me jump to the database and let's see if, well, if this will work. No, I still have this name, the old name without the numbers. So let's add here into our console log that I want to print user as well, and we will see if it's updated. Let's hit save, and the user name is still the same. Let's see, here we are changing this. Let's print now data. I want to check if we have name inside data. Let's 1, 2, 3, save. Let's see, data name. Yes, this looks fine. Let's print now user instead. Let's hit save. Now the user name is not changed. Okay, I know what's the problem. We can put back this, the simple solution. The problem is actually because our name is not defined here. So let's do name type. Type will be a string, and that's it. Now we can update this. So we don't need the result either. We can just update. So 1, 2, 3, save, and no errors here. Or we got an error. Or did we? Let's clear everything. Save. Put 200. Everything seems to work. Let's do refresh. And now let's see. No, nothing has changed. Let's see. Update 1, email, name to this. I think because we need to update our restart our environment. Now if I do save, let's go here to our database, refresh, and now I have my 1, 2, 3. So now it works. So now we can update, and if I refresh here, I still have my 1, 2, 3. So that is nice. Now I would like to be able to change my avatar here, right? So I can change it to a different photo. So let me go back to our profile page, and well, we don't need to have this response here. Maybe we can, maybe before we will go to the avatar, when I click here, we are saving, but we are not notifying that it's saved, right? So maybe we would like to have like here above or something like this. The profile has been saved. Let's see. I will style it first. Maybe under this H1, I'll put an H2, the profile, or maybe just profile saved. Profile saved, and I will add some class names like text center, and let's see, yeah, like this, profile saved, but I will add like a green. I don't know if it will be green. Yeah, let's do green. Background green, let's do like 200. Let's do some padding of 4. Yeah, something like this, but I would like to put it inside this div so it will be more narrow. Yeah, something like this, and maybe let's just do 100, and let's add rounded large for rounded corners, and well, this looks fine, I guess. Now maybe we can add some border. So it's the border 4 to make it visible. Let's do border green, and let's do 500. So now we have something like this. That's too big and too bold. So let's do 300, and let's do regular border without this 4. Just do border. So now we have something like this. Profile saved. Well, and I think it looks fine. Profile saved, and but now it's visible all the time, and I want to show it only if it's saved. So here we have this response, and we need to check if the response is okay to save, to say if it's saved or not. So let's do if response okay, then we need to update state somewhere. So let's add a state for this. Let's call this one profile, or maybe just saved, and set saved equals use state, and default will be false. And on the beginning here, we will update this to false just to be sure to reset this. And here, if it's okay, we will set it to true. Set saved to true. All right, and now if I refresh, we still see this because I need to add a small if here. So we have this H2 here, and I will add is saved. Was it is saved? Let's see. No, it's just saved. Let's do saved. If saved, then let's print this H2 here. Okay, so now I don't see anything, but if I change something and I click save, profile saved. We can add another thing for when it's actually saving. So let's do something like this. I will do here another state is saving, and set is saving. Default will be use state of false, and here on the beginning we will do set is saving to false, to true actually, because we are about to save now. So this will take like 100 milliseconds or so, but after it's done we will set it back to false. Set is saving to false, right? But now we want to also add an here, we want to add is saving, and now let's add something similar like this H2, and that will say saving ... but maybe let's make it like a blue color with border of blue as well. So now if I hit save, it said saving and then profile saved. I can make it a little bit longer so you can see that it actually is saving. I will clear here. Here we have throttling, and if you want to make your request slower, slower, you can change here like to slow 3G. Now if I hit save, it's saving and then it's saved. So as you can see, this took, I don't know, like 2 seconds or so. Yes, 2 seconds. I can hit save again. Let me change something, save, saving, and then profile saved. Let me remove no throttling, refresh, let's clear, let's add the throttling to slow 3G, and now let's try again, saving, and the profile saved. Yeah, that looks really nice. Let's remove this throttling, and now I would like to fix so we can also edit this profile picture, right? So for this profile picture, I would like to do that when you click on this edit, you will see a file, this choose file window. So let's fix it now. Let me go scroll here. Here we have this button that says edit. Well, to edit, to change, to pick a file, we will need to have an input of type file. And well, now we have here the input of type file. As you can see, it stretched everything. But the thing is, I'm going to make it hidden. So let's add a class name hidden. So now it's not visible, but this edit doesn't work still. But I'm going to fix it by putting a label, and I will put this input inside this label. I don't need this HTML4, and here inside I will put a span with edit instead of this button. So now I have this edit here, and if I click on it, I get this file picker here. So I can, for example, pick this image, or maybe this, or maybe this. So we have this edit working. I have prepared an image here of me, but I want to style it a little bit. So I want this to look like a button. So let's add some class names. I want to add a border, rounded LG, and let's add padding of 4, and let's see how it looks like. Yeah, something like this. But I want to change this to a block. Yes, something like this. The padding is too big, so let's do only 2, and let's do text center. Now let's see. Yeah, this is much better. Maybe I will do this also a little bit darker. Let's see here on those buttons. Yeah, darker border. So let's do border of gray 300 at least. Let's do gray 300. Yeah, something like this. And I want to also add a cursor of pointer. So I have this hand when I click on the button. So now it works, and I can choose an image, but as you can see, nothing happens if I do this. And this is because we change the value of this input, but we don't do anything with it. So to do something with it, I will add here on change on this input of type file, and I will call this function handle file change. We will have only one file change in this component, I think. So let's define it here. Function handle file change. All right, so now we get an event. And with this event, we not need to do stop propagation or prevent default. I want to show you that inside this event, we actually have information about the file. So let me just refresh. I will change this image, and here inside console we have this event information, and inside the target we have value. But this is just a fake path, as you can see. The one thing I want to show you is that we have something called files here. Files, and as you can see, we have one file. And here's information about our file. It's a file object. So let's grab our files here. So let's do const files equals event files. I will add a question mark just in case if now this will never be empty, so no question mark needed. So for files, I want to check that the length of the files is bigger than 0, and this means the array is not empty. If the array is not empty, it means that we can just send our file, right? We can upload our file. So first I would like to just send it. I would like to send it with our fetch. So let's do something like this. Let's do fetch, and I will send it to /API/upload for now. And let's add more stuff here. I'll add a wait, and I need to add async here. Right, so what type of method it will be? Let's make it post, because we are posting a new file. Right, and now I think we need to send also body, and the body will be, well, I think the easiest will be to send it not as a JSON, because we are not sending strings, we are sending file. I think the easiest way would be to send it as a form data. So to prepare this form data, I will do something like this. A const data equals new form data, and let's do data and set. Let's do files, and let's add those files here. And now let's try to do something like this. And to the body, let's put our data, and now let's also add headers. We want to inform that content type is well, it's form data. Let's search for this content type, form data, content type, and let's search for form data. Let's see. I think we should use this thing, multi-part form data. As you can see, we have content type multi-part form data. So let's use it. Multi-part form data as we would send a regular form. Okay, and this should work, right? This should send the image. So now we need to have this endpoint inside our API. So inside API we have a profile register. We don't have upload directory. So let's put upload, and we need to have a route inside. Let's do route.js, export default, not default, export function post, and well, we will have a request information here. Let's just for now return a response that will say okay or true, something like this. Now let's try to change our image. Open, and let's see. I will reload here, edit, let's pick the image, and nothing is going on. So nothing is sent. Let's see, and that's weird. Let's go back to our form profile page. Let's see if this function is actually run. Upload, let's see, upload, and let's go to console, edit, this one, open, and this thing runs, but we are not sending any request. Let's see, I will cut it from here and I will put it here. I'll put upload to, reload, edit, put image, open, console. We don't see any console log here, so it looks like file's length is not bigger than 0. Let's see why. Let's do, okay, I know why. It's not inside event files, it's inside event target files. Now it should work. Let's do refresh, edit, let's send this one, open, let's go to network, and we have our upload here, request. And as you can see, we are sending our files here, but those are not sent properly. As you can see, this looks bad. It's not correct. Maybe we have actually only one file, so let's send only one, and here let's do files of 0, and we'll send only if the length is 1, right? And we are going to send only one file, and the first from the array. Let's refresh, edit, this one, and now we do upload, and let's see, we are, now it looks better, I think. Content type, I don't see any more stuff here, but maybe it's okay. Let's see how big the request is. Size 244 bytes. Well, let's see, what do we have inside our console. Inside our console we don't have anything, but we will see if we have anything by doing some console log on on our request. So now if I change here to another image, let me first refresh, change the image. Let's see. Well, we have some stuff here and cookies, next URL, but what I'm interested in is actually form data, method post, body stream is undefined, client, but I don't see any information about our form data. Let's see. From the request, let's search for form data. I think it's a function that we need to wait for, and we need to add async here. Let's do data equals, and now let's do this, and here let's just console log data. And let's see now if this will change anything. Edit, let's upload this one, and we get an error. Let's see what happened. Boundary not found. So this is what was wrong. Let's see. I will go back to this profile page, and I will try to get rid of the headers for now. And let's see if this will fix anything. So refresh, edit. Let's pick this one, and now as you can see, we don't need those headers, and we get form data with name file, and we get value. So now it works. Let's go to our upload route, and here, as you remember, inside data we have a file. So we can probably do something like this. If data, we can do get. Let's see if we have a get on form data, because this is form data object form data, and let's see, what do we have? We have a get here, so we can do a get on the file. If we have the file, then let's do console log saying we have file, and maybe let's console log it as well. Data get file. Right, and now let's try to see how it works. Edit, let's pick this one, and we have file, and we see size, type, name, last modified. And this is a file object, as you can see. That's why it says file here. And it actually also contains the data itself. So the image, the binary data about this image, and we can actually upload it. So if we have data, if we have a file here, we can upload the file. So to upload our file, I'm going to use Amazon S3. This is the most popular way to store files. And just so you know, in case you don't have a credit card or something like this, there's a nice website called privacy.com, and you can generate credit cards with, prepaid. So you can send them like $1 or something like this, and they will generate you a credit card with $1. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just saying in case some of you don't have any credit card. All right, but now maybe it will also work with debit card. I don't know. But if you guys have a problem with it, then I've read good things about that website, privacy.com. Well, let's go to S3, and we are going to create a new bucket. Create bucket, and let's call this one food ordering, I think. Yeah, let's call this one food ordering. All right, and ACLs enabled, object writer. We want to enable ACLs so we can change ACLs, and we want to do that whoever writes files to the bucket will be able to change the ACLs. And now public access, we want to allow it. So let's allow the public access to the bucket, and I think that's it. So let's hit create bucket, and let's see if food ordering name already exists somewhere else. So I'm going to name it David food ordering. Let's create this bucket. Now it's created, and now we need to create a user for it. So let's go to security credentials. And here we need to go to users, create user, and here I will do user called David food ordering, same as the bucket name, and next, and then what do we want to do? attach policies. I want to create only one policy, so I'll click here, create policy, and let me create this policy here. The only thing we will need is service S3, and we want to allow all S3 actions, but only on, let's click all resources, no, only on specific resources. I'm going to select here everything, and the only thing I'm going to uncheck is the bucket name. So here I'm going to specify not any bucket name. I want to specify that the bucket name is David Food Ordering. So this is the only bucket this user will be, this policy will apply to. Let's go next, and policy name, Food Ordering S3 policy. It doesn't really matter, just so we can find it. Let's create this policy, and now the policy is created. Let's go back to our user, and we need to refresh policies, and let's search for food ordering. Here's our policy. We just need this one policy for this user. Create user, and we are golden. Let's search for David Food Ordering user. And okay, the user is created. We have this one policy. Let's go to security credentials, and we want to here create access keys. Here application running outside AWS. Yes, this sounds nice. Create access keys, and we have access keys, and this seems to look fine. So we want to save them inside our .env. So let's do maybe how we can call it, access key. Let's do AWS access key, and also we will need AWS secret key. Yeah, like this. And now access key, copy, paste, and the secret key, copy, paste. I'm going to change it later so you guys cannot use it. So we need to create it yourself. Right, but now we have our user for S3, so we can go back to our upload route, and we can upload a file that we have inside our data get file, and we can upload this one to S3, right? So to send this to S3, we are going to yarn add AWS SDK. Yes, AWS SDK yarn add. Whoops, this didn't work. Let's see, yarn add AWS SDK. Let's do client S3. Let's see now. Yes, it's installing AWS SDK client S3. We can maybe now import it here. So let's import, or maybe we can do dynamic imports, automatic imports here. So we have our file here. What do we want to do? We want to upload. First, we need to initiate our S3 client. So let's do S3 client equals new S3 client. Let's import this one from AWS SDK client S3. And now we need to specify some information about this client, like region. The region is when you create a bucket, you select region. I always select the default one, which is US East 1. And then you also need to have credentials for your client. And here you have access key ID, and